favorite show is back, and I'm back with some new episodes coming out very soon. I wanted to actually do this episode after I bring the click back or the squad back, and we did our episode first. But me and the squad, we've been busy doing other things, and we got families and shit that we got to do and work. So it's kind of hard for us to all mash together at one time to actually do an episode. But I got so much shit on my mind that I want to get off that I can't literally wait to talk about it with the squad. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a couple podcasts actually, because there's so much shit I gotta talk about to get this stuff off my out of my mind and off my mind and be able to talk about it on here. And then me and the squad will recap on everything I said and everything I talked about. And we'll all get each other's opinions, because I've already talked to the squad and they got a lot of stuff they want to talk about. My boy Rob, he wants to talk about some stuff. Um, Shayla wants to talk about some stuff, and Krisha also wants to talk about some stuff. So, we got a lot of things that we want to talk about. But, like I said, they work a lot. They've got kids. They've got their own little family. I just work. I don't even have fucking kids. So it's like, you know, when I have a little extra time, they might not have that extra time because they've got kids and they've got things they got to do. Whereas me, like, once I'm done, I don't really have nothing to do. Like at nighttime, like I'm done. Like if I'm not driving at night, which I'm an Uber driver, which I'm gonna get into talking about that a little bit. But once I'm finished driving at night, and everything is done in my house, I can just chill and kick back and pretty much do a podcast. Um, I was going, but for a little bit, I was going through a little issues with not necessarily podcast, but personal shit that went on with me. They just trying to lock me up for a fucking speeding ticket. So I had to go pay that speeding ticket, and I was dealing with that. Plus, I'm still dealing with some other shit, with my previous job. That I'm at the point where I'm done now. So like now I have the time to do the podcast. Plus, like I said, I'm an Uber driver now, so I've got a lot more space to do shit. With my other job, it's pretty hard to find out when I was going to do a podcast because like I worked 8 to 4, so 8 o'clock at night to 4 in the morning. When I came home, I was tired. I went straight to sleep. But now I'm an Uber driver. Only time I work those hours like that is on the weekends because that's when I mostly get all my money on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I work from like 7 to like 3 o'clock in the morning just driving. But I have time in between there just to chill and kick it, and I love doing it. So for those who are not doing Uber, man, if you're not an Uber driver, man, you need to really seriously think about doing it. It is fucking fun. Meet really cool people, and I haven't had any bad experience doing it. What I want to talk about is that I live in Europe, PA, and I think my city needs it the most because we have the most fucking DUIs out of the two cities that I live near, which is Lancaster and Harrisburg. You know, we have more DUIs than both those combined, and I think this will be a great thing for your PA folks to get involved in it and start using it in their city because it'll save you from getting that DUI. And for those who are saying, "Oh, it's not safe," trust me, it's pretty much safer than a fucking cab. Like the guy who's coming to pick you up. You got the person that's coming to pick you up. Their name is there on the app when they come to pick you up. How it gives you the time, how fast they're gonna be there. They know exactly from minute to minute where they're at. You know who it is. You know what type of car they drive. So if anything happens to you, you pretty much can just take that information and go straight to the police officers and be like, this is the guy who drove me. This is the guy who did whatever, or this is the person who did whatever, because a woman can be an Uber driver too. So pretty much anybody, as long as you're over the age of 18. And it's a great tool, and I think people in Europe PA needs to start using it. I don't know if it's gonna reach a lot of people in Europe PA, but I'm telling you, man, it's awesome. All you gotta do is download the app onto your phone. Have a credit card or a bank account or a debit card, and just go from there. It's never no money is exchanged with the Uber drivers. You don't give an Uber driver any money. All you do is make sure you have money in your account, and it comes straight out of the account. The prices are really cheaper. It's way cheaper than the cabs that's out here in Europe PA. It starts off with $2. It's 175 every mile and 25 cents every minute, and that's way cheaper than the cabs out here. Uh, I think the cabs out here start off at 250. Oh no, the cabs out here I think start off at 3, and it's 250 every mile, and I think it's like $1 every minute. So you're saving a hell of a lot more money doing the Uber thing, and you know who's picking you up. You know all the stuff that's going on when you get in that person's car, and it's all good, man. And even if you don't want to use it for when you want to go out on Saturday nights, man, you can use this shit for when you don't want to drive to work. Like, say if you don't mind paying someone to drive you to work. Like, I don't fucking want to drive today. I want to have someone drive me to work. Call up an Uber cab, man. They'll come pick you up and they'll take you to work, and then you can have that same person or somebody else in that city that you're going to work at come pick you back up. It's that simple, man. Your car breaks down, you don't have a car for a whole week, and you don't know when you're gonna get your car fixed, or you don't have the money to get your car fixed right now, and you need ride to work. Boom. Like, I know people that work in insurance, the cell phone place out here, who don't have rides. They gotta depend on, other coworkers to take them home, or carpool with other coworkers to take them home. And if that coworker decide not to go to work, then guess what? You shit out of luck. 'Cause now you gotta call all the other coworkers and see if you. Don't do all that fucking shit. Download the Uber app. You make enough money. Download the fucking Uber app onto your fucking phone and just have them motherfuckers pick you up, take you to work, drop you off. All that shit. You know what I mean? So definitely check it out, man. Definitely get the Uber. Like, more people in York. The reason why it's not really big in York is because there's no demand for it. You gotta have a demand for it to be in York. I would rather drive in York than go drive in Lancaster or Harrisburg, because that's where I drive at now. Lancaster or Harrisburg. And I would rather drive in York because I'm home. Like, I don't waste that much gas at home, and plus I know where everything is here. So please, by all means, man, download the app, get yourself an Uber driver, make it a demand out in your PA, and let's cut down on the DUIs, and you can have an Uber driver drive you to work, pick you up. I'm one of the Uber drivers in York, PA, so a lot of people know me out here. So it's not like you're driving with some fucking strange, crazy person. And again, all the information is there. If something happens to you, you definitely can go and give that to the police, and they'll take care of that. And we got to keep a 4 or 6 rating. Like, it's a star rating between 1 to 5. If we don't keep a 4.6 rating, we can't even drive for Uber. So if you get somebody that is horrible, you give him a bad rating, and someone else gets him, give him a bad rating, he's done. He really can't, or that person is done. They can't drive for Uber no more. So it's really, really strict, man. And it's like a 3-week background investigation that they did on me. So they do that on everybody. So definitely, it's really safe. So people, go out there, get an Uber, get it done. Especially your PA. Get yourself some, download the app, man, and get yourself an Uber when you need a ride. All right, now that we passed that and we're off that shit, America is a crazy place to live at right now, man. We've got people fighting over Confederate flags, and motherfuckers just going nuts with the racism. People going crazy that gay marriage is now legalized. So everybody's like, oh, this is not fair. This is not right. America is just a crazy place to live right now. And everybody's got an opinion on things, but no one's spitting facts. That's what kills me. No one spits facts anymore. It's like, this is my opinion and it's a fact. And it's like, that's not a fact. Like, dude, like, do your history on shit. And it's like, no. It's a fact. It's my opinion. It's a fact. And I'm just sick of it, So I've always prided myself to my audience that I was going to give you facts. I wasn't going to sit here and spit opinions. My opinion on certain shit don't really matter. I mean, it matters because you're listening to the show and you want to hear what I've got to say about it. But I'm also going to put a fact in there and let you know that I base my opinions off facts. I don't base my opinions on, what my friends think, or what my white coworkers think, or any of that shit. I base my opinions off the facts. And so we're going to talk about the Confederate flag, and we're going to talk about, gay rights in America. We're gonna address these issues because they're problems. And like I said, these are the only 2 issues right now that are rampant. Oh, and breaking news, if you haven't heard about it just yet, I recently heard about it tonight. It seems that Bill Cosby was raping bitches. Man, I was one of the guys that was going against all this shit. I was very vocal about it. If you haven't heard any of my podcasts, I was very vocal about it, saying that, I don't believe the stories because it's just come on, fucking Bill Cosby, man. So now I have to go in my bag and I have to apologize to all those women that I said were liars. And this is from the bottom of my heart. I am very sorry. I truly believe that Bill Cosby was innocent. I'm so sorry for that, and I'm man enough to admit that I was a fucking idiot on that one because I just knew that Mr. Pudding, Jello Pudding himself couldn't have done no shit like this. But Bill Cosby admitted with his own mouth, his own words, in a court document that he did buy Quaaludes to give to women when he was about to young women that he was about to have sex with. Fucking crazy, man. Wow. And a lot of people are going, well, that doesn't mean he raped them. Yeah, Quaaludes are a fucking, yeah, it does. It's not good, Bill. It's really not good. Damn, man, like, I really didn't think Bill Cosby was doing this shit. Like, I was one of those ones going, they just trying to crucify him. Like, I did the whole guilt and innocent thing based off the Bill Cosby shit because I was so angry about how they was making Bill Cosby look like a fucking guilty dude. And I did the whole guilt and innocent podcast about that. And now I feel like a fucking jackass because he was fucking guilty. He's guilty. And it's like, damn. Like, why can't motherfuckers just like why he had to be the one? Like, why had to be Bill fucking Cosby? Now I gotta take back all that shit I said about, oh, Bill Cosby's really out there raping bitches. The cops would have really jumped on him about it. Cause, obviously the cops didn't do their fucking job if women were going to them telling Bill Cosby's raping them. They were being just as naive as I was. So obviously we need to, check in with those cops. Those cops should be getting in trouble just as much as Bill Cosby does. And honestly, I think Bill Cosby needs to get in trouble. He needs to, something needs to happen. I don't care about the statue on it. Something needs to happen because, this shit should never happen again. Nobody should get away with this shit. Doesn't matter who they are. Bill Cosby needs something to happen. Like, he needs to be in trouble, dude. I mean, his career is over. That's done. His career is over. But, his career, he hasn't really done anything since he became an old man anyway. So it's not like, okay, his career is over. That's kind of been over for a while now. So that's not gonna hurt him. He needs to go to jail or something. Like, something needs to happen. Or his money needs to go somewhere. I don't know. Something needs to happen to him because it's fucked up, man. It's fucked up. I wonder what his wife is gonna do. Like, I wonder what is his wife gonna leave him? Like, because that is not a good look. Like, but Bill Cosby's gonna get everything he deserves because he's out here doing shit that he shouldn't have been doing. He shouldn't have been doing what he was doing. And that's all I gotta say about that. Matter of fact, I got a little bit more to say about it. And again, I want to apologize. I like I said earlier, I feel like an idiot saying that Bill Cosby's innocent. When you have a bunch of chicks come out, I was naive. I didn't think Jello Pudding was doing that, man. Like, he's fucking Bill Cosby. Like, he's like wholesome. Like, when you look at Bill Cosby, if you look at all of Bill Cosby, he doesn't curse. He doesn't do like you just look at him and say, that's wholesome right there. That's what I thrive to be. But now he's out here raping bitches. It's like, oh shit. What? You raping bitches, Bill? Like, come on, man. So I'm apologizing to all those women. I don't even think they listen to this fucking podcast, but I deeply am apologizing to anybody that was offended by the shit I said because I was one of those ones that was like, Bill Cosby's innocent, and these are the facts and why. And turns out my facts weren't really facts. So the one time I did get wrong on some of the facts that I was throwing out there, and I can't say they weren't really facts. They were more like they were facts. It's just more like they were facts that led me down to believe that he was innocent. When the truth be told, that he wasn't. So again, I have to apologize for that. I was naive in my comments and thinking that Bill Cosby wasn't raping chicks because I just couldn't see Bill Cosby doing that. He's the guy that gave us what kids think, man. The kids say the darndest things. Sorry, not what kids think. Kids say the darndest things. He's the guy that gave us kids say the darndest things. You do not think the guy that gave us kids say the darndest things is a rapist, but turns out he is. And he's a serial rapist at that. Like, he raped 20 chicks, man. Like, you don't see that, but he's doing it. He's giving chicks quaaludes, man. You have to look at that. Like, and for those who don't know what quaaludes is, look it up, man. It's a blatant definition for it. He's giving chicks quaaludes and having sex with them. It's bad. Like, it's real bad. And for those who are saying, oh well, she was passed out, it's not really rape. It's rape, dude. Man, it's not good for Bill Cosby right now. It's not. Yeah, I was on Facebook looking at the trending, and I just seen so many people just like, I will not support Bill Cosby now. So many people apologizing and reacting, saying I'm not support, because they were like, oh shit, he was giving bitches quaaludes. This motherfucker. Like, that's what I was saying. Like, when I read it, I was like, this motherfucker was giving bitches quaaludes. Oh, this dirty mother. Oh, you know what I mean? Like, damn, Bill. Like, why? Man, it's not good, dude. So, but anyway, I spent too much time on that shit. Like I said, I apologize for my comments about him being innocent. He's not. We all were fooled. The ones that were behind Bill Cosby, we were fucking fooled. And I know how to say I was a fool and apologize for being a fool. So, But anyway, let's get into this conversation. So, what are we going to talk about first? Are we going to talk about gay rights, or are we going to talk about the flag? Well, I think the gay rights issue I'm going to talk about first, because the whole gay rights thing is a cover to keep everybody from looking at the bigger picture, which is racism in America. They threw out the gay rights thing because they wanted us all to talk about that instead of racism, because racism is a way more touchy subject, and it's way easier to fix this one than it is to fix this one. And I don't want people to think that I'm insensitive to the gay rights movement, because I'm not, but it's nowhere near as important as the civil rights movement was. It's important, but it's on a whole different level. Is it a hate crime? Yeah, it's in part of the hate crime area. But here's the thing about gay rights: we're gonna get a little backlash from it for a couple of years, but after a while, people are not gonna give a shit about it no more. Racism has not left since slavery was abolished. Since slavery was abolished, which many, many years ago, racism has not died down, has not gone away, has not, done anything. Gay rights, it has died down from what it was 60 years ago, what it was 20 years ago. Like, it's not the same. Like, and it's slowly dying. Like, we're not going to have this problem 2-3 years from now. You're not going to have people going, oh my God, you're gay. You're going to have your Jesus freaks, as I like to call them, your really religious folks pissing a bitch about it, but even they're going to just go away and go, it doesn't make sense to fight it. It's here. We can't do nothing about it. I hate it, but yeah. But racism is not going anywhere, man. Racism is going to be here for years because, and you know what? I'm not going to break into why it's going to be here for years until I get to that point. But it's going to be here for years, and I'm going to break it down why it's going to be here for years. So let's go back into the gay marriage thing. And I'm very happy, but I have not put my rainbow colored picture up. And a lot of people go, well, you don't support it? I support it to death, but I'm not putting up a rainbow colored picture to support it. I'll just tell people I support gay marriage. Like, I'm okay with that. Well, I should say same-sex marriage. I support same-sex marriage. I'm okay with it. I don't, it's not my thing. But I'm not gonna put up a rainbow-colored picture to prove that I support it. Just ask me, hey, you support it? Yeah, I support it. It's cool. Cause I've got gay friends. Hell, I got a friend that I known for I think a couple months now, who's a transgender. A guy who dresses up like a woman. I'm very cool with them. We're on good, terms. Like, they know I'm straight. I know he's gay. We've hung out before. There's no problem. Like, I don't have a beef with him because, you know, he's a dude pretending to be a woman because he's not. He never stirred me that way. I mean, he never said, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna pretend to be a woman with this dude," and then pull out a dick and be like, "Oh well, I'm sorry, I didn't tell you that. It's a dick down there." No. He told me the truth from day one. I'm a dude, man. I got a dick just like you got a dick. Like, and that was in that conversation because then we just became friends. It was like, okay, you're cool people, so I like hanging out with you. Straight, you're real. Like one of the realest fucking people. And I know people saying, well, no, man, he's pretending to be a chick. How's he real? Fucking real. Like, tells you the truth from, how he feels about shit. So, I'm cool. Like, I'm okay with my sexuality because I feel like people who don't accept gay folks, it's because they don't understand it. And I was always taught coming up, like when you don't understand something, you hate it. Because you're trying so hard to understand it, and when you just don't understand it, you hate it. So a lot of this hatred for gay marriage or same-sex marriage is because motherfuckers don't understand it. How can you like the same sex? We're supposed to like different sex. We're not supposed to like the same sex, so they don't understand it. And I tell people, why the fuck are you trying to understand it? Are you trying to live that lifestyle? Like that's the lesson I was taught. If you're not trying to live that lifestyle, you're not trying to do what they do, why do you need to understand it? Why do you need to understand that that makes them happy? And this is a question for all the Christians out there who believe gay marriage is a sin. Why do you need to understand why two guys like each other? Why do you need to understand why two women want to be with each other? I don't need to understand shit. I don't need to. That's not where I'm trying to go down. I don't need to understand it because I'm not trying to live that life. You know, that's like trying to understand why LeBron James does the powder in the air when he's about to, play a basketball game. He'll tell you it's good luck for him, right? But you're like, but how's that luck? Like, you're throwing powder in the air. Like, how's that luck? So then you start hating it. Oh, I hate when that motherfucker throw powder in it because it makes no sense. It's nothing to do with luck. It's his pregame ritual, but it's stupid. I don't understand his pregame ritual. See, I understand Michael Jordan's pregame ritual. Because he had the shorts. He wore his Carolina shorts under there. He washed them. But, he was in college with those shorts. And he played his best ball in college. That's why he wears those shorts. But that powder shit, why does he have to throw powder in the air? I don't get it. You start hating it because you don't understand it. I hate it, Or a woman who hates a man who plays video games. They don't understand video games. They don't understand how you can sit there for 2 hours and play a fucking game when there's a real world behind you. They don't understand that. And the more you try to explain them, like, it gets me out of the real world for a little bit. It's entertainment for me. Blah, blah, blah. They don't understand. I just don't get it. It's entertaining to you. Well, just how, like going shoe shopping is entertainment for you and it's soothing for you. This is soothing for me. This is man soothing. Oh, I don't get it. It's not the same thing. So they start hating it and hating it and hating it more. So, those 2 hours seem like 5 hours. Oh, you've been on the game for 5 hours. Not really. I've only been on here for 2 hours. Oh, hey, they start hating it, hating it, hating it. And to the point where they fucking throw your Xbox 360 out the fucking window. Or they put your PlayStation 3 in water. And you sitting there thinking about how you about to kill this bitch. But the only reason that saved her ass is because you watched the motherfucking forensic files and you see how the motherfuckers caught that bitch. Like, damn, they caught that nigga with that little bit of hair. Shit, if I kill this bitch, they gonna catch my black ass. So you decided not to do that shit. But no, that's what it is. That's what it is for the people that hate same-sex marriage. They don't understand it. They don't get it. They're trying to understand something. But my question to them is, if you're not gay, what the fuck do you need to understand it for? They're happy. That's the main point of it. They're happy together. If someone's happy, who are we to take someone's happiness away and say that's wrong, for you to be happy? Because that happiness is a sin. So we're going to take that away because that happiness is wrong. Who are we to take happiness away from somebody? Now, I know some of you people out there saying, well, what if a serial killer is happy killing people and we take that happiness away from him? It's a whole different thing. He's affecting other people's lives. How is being gay affecting your life? How is these two gay couples over here who are going to be in their own area, in their own home, doing God knows what in their home, affecting you and your home? Oh, I've got to explain to my kids. This is one of the major problems where I'm having in America. We don't like to explain shit to children no more. I think kids that are under 5 are not even going to give a shit about it because they're not going to realize what it is. And let's be honest, kids are seeing more at the age 5 than we know. I know kids that are 8 right now who know what the word gay is and know the meaning of it and know when someone's gay because they go to school with other kids who teach them shit. So now you got kids teaching kids instead of you as a parent teaching your damn kid. Now your kid knows all this shit that you don't even know your kid knows. So explaining to your kid about same-sex marriage is not going to be hard because he probably already knows about it from the other motherfucking kids in school who's probably teaching him wrong. Anyway, so this whole sheltering your kid shit, it doesn't work because if you send your kids to school, they're learning shit from other kids. So you should teach your kids shit. I would say at the earliest age of 6, you need to sit your kid down and start teaching him about the birds and the bees and same-sex marriage because he's learning that shit already in school from other dumbass kids who have learned it from other dumbass kids who've learned it from other dumbass kids, and they don't got none of the facts right. So now your kid is thinking this is real because he trusts this guy. He trusts his best friend Mike who told him all this shit. And instead of you sitting him down, who you know what's real in the world because you're a grown ass person, you're letting children teach your children about gay marriage and sex. Because, I don't want my kid to grow up and have sex at a young age. So if I teach him about sex now, he's going to want to have sex. No, but if he's going to have sex anyway because that little kid down the street is teaching him about sex and telling him how great it is. So now he wants to do it. And instead of you teaching him and saying it's a responsibility to sex, now he's trying to have sex. And then you look stupid when he comes back with a pregnant girl. Or she comes back pregnant. And you're just sitting there going, what? How did this happen? I shielded her from this. No, you can't shield her because you're not in school with her. Or you're not in school with him. You're not in school with your kids. And your kids are learning from other kids. It's that simple. So it's better that you teach your kids about this shit. You should have been teaching your kids about this shit. Alright? And this whole thing that it's a sin, it's the dumbest thing ever. Like, how can one sin be unforgivable, but thousands of sins are okay if you give a couple of Hail Marys? Give a couple of Praise Jesuses and Hail Marys, you're forgiven. But if you gay, no Hail Marys here. We can't give you no Hail Marys for that. You're going straight to hell. Like, the devil is waiting for you right now. That's ridiculous. You telling me I can kill a motherfucker and be forgiven, but if I fucking do it in the butt, it's a wrap. That makes no damn sense to me. And how the fuck do we know that's a sin? Like, have people forgot that? And this is why I don't have a religion. This is why I believe that God has imprinted his essence into all of us. We know right from wrong. Because he imprinted his essence in us. So I don't have a religion and I don't follow the Bible. So for anybody out there that's mad that I just said that, hey, that's your opinion. This is mine. I don't have a religion. I don't fucking follow the Bible. Because to me, it's man written. A man wrote that Bible. Not God himself. God didn't tell that man, hey, write this Bible. A man wrote that Bible. And some of that shit in that Bible was probably because that man at that time was feeling angry that this happened to him. So he wanted it now to be law. And he knew if he said, well, God told me to write it off, God said this is law, people would listen more than, hey, I think we should do this because, you know, it happened to me and it hurt my feelings. So I want this law done. But if he says, well, God wants this law done, people will go, well, if God wanted it done, then you know what, maybe I should start, listening to it. All right, God put in our essence what's right from wrong. All right, and I can go to one of the easiest things I can say is killing, murder. If murder was if murder was okay with God, we'd have a lot more murderers than we do now. Okay, yeah, we have murder, we have people killing people, but it's not as bad or it's not as many as people think it is. The news, clouds our mind with that shit because it's the job of the media is to keep us in fear. So we would be in fear to not knowing what's really going on, what our government is really doing. That's the job of the media, is to keep us in fear so we don't pay attention to what the fuck the government is really doing. All right. So that's why we constantly, it looks like motherfuckers is always dying. Like people die every day. That is the truth. But the media will just make it exploded to the point where it's like, oh my god, the world is going nuts in a handbag. Motherfuckers is blowing shit up and shooting up churches and shit. What is going on? When truth be told, it's the media exaggerating it because they want you to focus on that and not focus on the government. Trust me, if the media was just doing his job and not making us depressed and all that shit, we'd be worrying about what the government doing. Hey, what you motherfuckers over there doing? I don't like what y'all motherfuckers in secret over there. So motherfuckers need to wake. This is why I say wake the fuck up, America. When I start this show, wake the fuck up, America, because a lot of people are asleep. They are fucking sleeping. They're not waking up. And I feel like we're in the Matrix, but not in the Matrix. You know what I mean? Like, everything is real. But we're so focused on the dumbest shit that we're not seeing what our government is doing behind us. And what they're doing to us as people. Because we're so focused on this other shit that the media is making us be focused on. And we're not paying attention to what the government's doing behind us. Because we're like, we need to focus on this. We need to focus on that dress that changed colors. Because I want to know if it's blue or black. No, man, it's white and black. No, man, it's gold and yellow. We're focused on that shit. Oh my god, Kim Kardashian broke the internet again with that ass. Did you see that ass, man? That ass is amazing. We're focused on that shit. So the government now is just free to roam around and do the fuck they want behind us. And, all we have to do is turn around and look and we can see what the government doing. But I don't want to turn around and look because I'm going to miss that ass that's walking down the street. So that's what the government is doing right now. So this whole thing that's going on is a ploy to get us off what we need to be focused on, which is racism. What the government is doing. And I'm going to get into that. And a lot of people are not going to like what I'm going to say. But I've got facts to back up my shit. Like I said, I made a mistake with the Bill Cosby shit. But that's one out of 100 things I've said on this shit. 1 out of 100 things, you got me. Okay, Bill Cosby is a fucking rapist. But that's just one. That's just fucking one. Alright, but anyway. Back to what I was saying. It's in our essence. What's right from wrong. It's in our fucking essence. We don't have we're not all out here killing people. Because if God was okay with killing, trust me, a lot of motherfuckers would be dead. A lot more motherfuckers would be dead. That coworker that cursed you out at work or rolled their eyes at you, you're probably gonna murder them. Because you're like that. Fuck it. But you didn't murder them because you thought about it and you said, well, this motherfucker just need fucking with me. And not only that, he's got a family, he's got kids. Like, I'm taking this motherfucker out of the world, over something so petty. Makes no sense. Now, if murder wasn't in our essence to not commit it and not do it because it's wrong, trust me, you wouldn't think about all that shit that I just said. you just go over and stab that person in the fucking throat and watch them die. And then go back to your desk and sit down and eat your lunch and say, hey, Mike, we still going? Hey, Mike, we still going out to lunch? Mike be like, yeah, man. You know, because he wouldn't care because he's like, oh, you just killed Tiffany. You just killed Tony because that motherfucker be talking too much shit. I was gonna kill his ass too, but you beat me to the punch. We wouldn't have that essence to think about. The ones that don't have that essence, that just go out and just kill motherfuckers and not think about what they're doing. Those are the bad seeds. Those are the ones that slip up because God's not perfect. Those are the guys that slip up, through the cracks and don't get that essence. So that's why they're able to kill somebody without feeling no remorse and not caring that they just took this person from somebody. And it's over the littlest shit. And they can walk around the next day and eat lunch and sit down and sip soda. We don't find motherfuckers like that. It's not that many motherfuckers out there like that. Contrary to the belief that the media puts out there, there's not that many motherfuckers that do that shit. Sometimes motherfuckers kill people for reasons. You have to look deeper into a situation than just what you see on TV. Okay? A lot of people don't do that. That's, again, why I say wake the fuck up America when I do this podcast. Because I want people to wake up. I want people to be enlightened. I want people to realize that, it's not just what you see on TV is true. Even with the fucking news, you have to dig deeper into that situation. Because they're gonna tell you what they want you to know and not the truth. Okay? So, it's in our essence. And I don't think some of the shit in the Bible is in our essence. Thou shalt not steal. There's a lot of us stealing out here. I don't think God is going to punish you for stealing. I don't think God is going to punish you for having sex before marriage. If it was supposed to be used for marriage, why do you make it so good? Okay? Sex is one of the most amazing things on this planet. Why make something so good? Oh, because he wanted to see if you can fight the temptation. You know damn well most of us can't fight the temptation. Come on. He probably couldn't even fight the temptation himself. Ain't serious, man. It's just too damn good. That's like telling a fat person you can't eat cake. What? I can't eat cake? You can't eat cake. And they sitting there sweating and shit trying to figure out, how can I eat cake? I need to eat this cake. I need the cake. I want the cake. And you tell them, no, can't eat cake. It's a sin. You eat cake, you're going to hell. I'm pretty sure that motherfucker gonna be like, look, I guess I'll be going to hell. Give me a goddamn cake. I know I would. I ain't even fucking fat. Hey, man, I guess I'm going to hell. Give me a cake, please. Let me get the cake. Let me get the cake. No, fuck all that shit. No, man. I'll get right with God later. I need to eat this cake. It's in our essence, man. All that shit is in our essence. God is, we're in his image. It's in our essence. What he believes is wrong, we know it's wrong. So we don't do it. Not all of us out here raping kids. Not all of us out here are, what's one of the other commandments? Look, I'm not familiar with the book all that well. I know a couple of things in the book. But I'm not familiar with the book all that well because I just don't read into the book. Because, to me that book is lies. It's not that I think that people who believe into the book is idiots, because I don't, if that's what you want to, who am I to say what you believe in is wrong? If that's what you want to believe, by all means, go right ahead. I just feel deep down that was man-written. It's a man-written book with someone who just had problems with these things and wrote these things down and said, well, yeah, God said that you got to stop doing this stuff. And wrote all this stuff down. And people started following it, going, yeah, I'm going to start doing this because God said I got to stop doing it. Because we always had God type figures that we prayed up to before Christianity and all the other religions that came after. We always had God type figures. The Greeks had many gods that they prayed to. Same with the Romans. They had many gods that they prayed to. It wasn't just one god. It was many gods. So it, it's beautiful. Like it's cool. Like matter of fact, speaking of that, anybody know the game God of War, which I thought this was the greatest story ever told. It's God of War 3, the last one they did, which is God of War 3. And the original story for God of War 3, if you've played God of War 3, you know how it ends. The original story of God of War 3 was, I read it on I forgot what page right now. The original story the story of God of War is based off in the Greek mythology, which is, many gods. The God of War. I mean, they asked the main character, Thanos. I think it's Thanos. I don't play the game. I have it on Xbox. I'm sorry, people. I played the game like on PlayStation 2 when I had a PlayStation 2. I haven't played it since. But they asked the main character. So I'm just gonna say the main character. I forgot his name. They asked the main character, and if anybody knows his name, please put it on the Facebook page, because I want y'all to start interacting more on the Facebook page, because I don't know who's watching the fucking show or not. So I'm gonna start putting questions up and all that shit. I want people to interact more on the fucking Facebook page so I can know my audience. I need to know who's watching the show, who's not watching the show. And definitely get your friends involved. Get your friends to like the fucking page and to listen to this shit, because I don't want to be doing this shit for my health, people. I want a fan base, alright? So get people involved. But anyway, the main character is summoned by the gods to kill the god of war. And the god of war is Ares. I know my Greek mythology from fucking back of my head, because I was fascinated with the Greek mythology when I was coming up as kids. I loved the Greek mythology stories, from Hercules to Odysseus to Achilles. I love that shit. Like when movies fucking come out with this shit on it, I'm there. I'm watching it. Like I fucking watched Clash of the Titans. I watched the Wrath of the Titans. Because I wanted to see this shit, because I was fascinated with the Greek mythology. I watched Troy, which is also part of the Greek mythology. So I watched that. I was fat. I watched Hercules. The new one with The Rock. I didn't watch the one with the one kid. I should have watched it, but I heard it was so bad that it made no sense to watch it. So I didn't. But I did watch the one with The Rock. I enjoyed the one with The Rock. I like the one with The Rock, because it fastened on the Greek mythology, but it's more like how Nolan did with Batman. Whereas if Hercules was an actual person, and yeah, we were we were doing this stuff with Hercules, and from Greek mythology, he is a real person. So, but anywho, they ask the main character to kill Ares because he's out of control. So, the first game he kills Ares, second game he becomes God of War, then the gods turn on him, so now he has to go fight the gods. And the third one pretty much ends it all. He finally gets to fight the gods, and he goes against Zeus, and he kills Zeus. And the original storyline was supposed to be that he kills Zeus, and then the Roman gods that are based off, excuse me for burping, the Roman gods that are based off of the Greek gods, but just with different names, are supposed to also come along and attack the main character. And then he kills all them guys off. And then once he does that, it's the birth of Christianity and Christ with one God. And this and this is what we know now. Like, it was supposed to explain how all the gods died from the Greek and Roman era to bring out one God, Christ. So I thought that was fucking beautiful ending, because it's basically telling the story of what happened. It was many gods, but this guy killed all the gods. Even though it's a fictional story, this guy killed all the gods, and this is how you got Christ. So I thought it was beautiful. They didn't do it for two reasons. One, they didn't want a lot of people fucking going nuts about what they were doing. Christians love to protest, so they didn't want their game to be protested. And two, they wanted to continue making more God of War games, because it's a big moneymaker. So you don't want to end up your moneymaker and not make any more games. But I really think they should have did that with 3. That would have been amazing. the fucking ending of the game. And the remake or the remaster is coming out, so they might have done that version in the remaster, or at least let it be playable in the remaster. Like there's two versions, like two alternate, and you can have the ending that we originally gonna go with, or you can have this ending. So this way they could still come out with God of War 4, and you still play, because like they're coming out with, and I know I'm breaking up into games, so I'm sorry for those who are not gamers. They're coming out with a fucking one of my favorite games. Damn, I can't even fucking remember it. Mass Effect 4, and I beat Mass Effect 3. I don't know how the fuck you come out with a Mass Effect 4 after what happened in Mass Effect 3. I won't give any spoilers. So, alright. Anywho, that was that game. And you understand why I brought it up, because of the whole Christ thing and all that. So, to me, the Bible is just someone who wrote that. A man wrote that and said, God said this. You know what I mean? And if you look at a lot of the Christianity stuff and a lot of the things that are going on, like angels are like gods. They're just they're just lower power beings of God himself. Like if you look at it, the devil is Hades, Gabriel is Ares, Michael is damn, I can't think what Michael is. He's one of those guys. But if you look at it, the angels are pretty much the lower form gods that were in the Greek era and in the Roman era. So it's kind of the same thing in a way. Just they're called angels instead of also called gods. There's only one God, and these guys, they're angels, and then there's devils and demons. Like this guy's a demon, and this guy's the devil. The devil is pretty much Hades. So it's I don't know what Poseidon would be. I'm trying to think. Poseidon would be whatever angel is for the sea. I don't know. Really don't know. I'll have to look into it. But that's my take on it. I don't want to offend any Christian folks or anybody that's heavily into the Bible. Like I'm not here to offend you. Like if you know me, you know that that's not my thing. Like people know that's not my thing. Like when they see my mom go out to church with my grandmother, they never see me. And it's a reason why you don't see me, because that's not my style. Like I don't do that stuff. Like I don't have a religion, so I'm not gonna go to a church that is focused on this religion. My mom is Baptist, so my mom and my grandmother and my little cousin King are Baptist, so they go to Baptist churches. I don't have a religion, so I don't go with them to the church. I just feel like that's not where I'm at. Like I'm okay with being home and talking to my God at home, and I don't really talk to him that much, because I don't really have nothing to talk to him about. I thank him for some things. And, hey, thank you, God, for that. But I got my path of where I want to go and what I want to do. And if God doesn't, like the path I'm going, He's gonna let me know, hey, this is not the path for you. You got to go this way. And I'm gonna go that way. But as of right now, look, He hasn't been giving me no sign saying, hey, the path you're going down is wrong. He's actually been, stirring me into the way I'm at, where I'm at. Slowly showing me that's not right for you. Don't get comfortable there. It's not right for you. Like he showed me that being a security guard wasn't where I need to be. By telling me, hey, this is not right for you. So anyway, back to what I was saying. I don't do that stuff. And I have my opinions on that. And I might do an episode on religion and just explain why I just hate religion so much. And it's not just your religion. I hate all religion. But I won't never disrespect your religion. Like if I do a podcast about it, I'm still gonna be respectful to it. Like if you believe in it, that's you. Because it doesn't hurt me that you believe it. Like that's my whole thing. Like, and that's always been my attitude. It doesn't hurt me that you're gay. It doesn't hurt me that you believe in it. I'm over here. Like, you can't affect me with what you believe in. You can't affect me that you're gay. The only problem I have with gay folks is that if you say you're down with straight life, or you straight, if you go straight pride, you're gay bashing, and it's not gay bashing. I'm straight pride all day because I'm straight. Like, if you say straight pride is gay bashing, then gay pride is straight bashing. Like, if you're gay, be proud to be gay. Just like I'm straight and I'm proud to be straight. Like, it's nothing wrong with that. I seen a guy get fucking ridiculed on Facebook for saying straight pride. He said, I'm not against gay folks. I just straight pride. And motherfuckers, oh, you gay bashing, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, and I had to defend the dude. I said, look, I'm also for gay rights, but I'm straight. Why can't I say straight pride? I mean, like, it's kind of like white power. Like, when a person says white power, automatically, oh my God, he's Ku Klux Klan. And it's like, no, are white pride. If a person says white pride, that motherfucker think he's better than everybody. And it's like, nah, he's just happy being a white guy. Because I can go around saying black pride, and people were like, yeah, he's proud to be black. But the white guy goes, white pride, and we're just ready to lynch his ass. And it's like, no, dude, like, let him be happy being white. It's the same shit, man. So you can't, gay folks, man, you can't get mad at people for being straight. Don't be questioning us being straight. Just like I'm not questioning you being gay, don't question me for being straight. I like being straight. Accept that. Accept that I'm not gay, and you move on about it. Like, you can't sit here and get mad at us, not understanding being fucking gay, and then you sitting there going, well, I don't understand why you straight. Like, motherfucker, two wrongs don't make it right. Yeah, we did it to you, but it doesn't prove anything when you do it back. Follow, like, if you want to compare, gay rights to civil rights, then you need to follow the teachings of Martin Luther King. Two wrongs don't make it right, man. Me doing it back to you is not going to prove anything. It's just going to continue the hatred. Now, Martin Luther King never said that, but his practices did. What he did, that nonviolence, it basically said that. It spoke volumes. Hey, look, I'm not going to do what you're doing to me back to you because it ain't going to do nothing but make this worse. What I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to show you that it's wrong and you're going to look like an ass on TV because I accept you for you and you need to start accepting me for me. That's all. Like, gay folks need to start doing that. Just do that and you won't have issues. Don't hate me because I'm straight. I don't need that. I don't need to be explaining to you why I like vagina so much. Like, I could talk to a chick that's that's into women. I can talk to her all day. Like, yeah, I like vagina. This is why I like vagina. This is why I like vagina. Can't talk to a gay dude about that because they're like, oh, why do you like vagina so much? Trying to explain to me that the asshole is no, it's not the same as a vagina. Okay, your ass is your asshole. Vagina is vagina. It's two different things. Shit comes out of there. Piss comes out of there. And yeah, occasionally some blood. But still, it ain't as bad as the asshole. So yeah. It's one of those things, man. But now let's get to the real topic, the topic that's being covered up by this gay stuff. By the same-sex marriage is being covered up. And this is the shit that the government is doing. And nobody wants to pay attention to what the government's doing. And we're already at like 55 fucking minutes, so I went a little bit long. But this might be a two-part episode. Matter of fact, this might be just a straight long fucking episode. Fuck it. Just listen to the shit, alright? I've seen podcasts on for like 5 fucking hours. Motherfuckers listening to it. So if you gotta listen to this shit for 2 hours, listen to it, okay? Anywho, the shit that the government's covering, because shit was getting too hectic. And they knew if they kept it going, people were gonna be like, oh shit, this is real. Alright? What I'm about to say is gonna make people's wig, make your brain go, no, makes no sense. But if you sit down and you look at everything, and you look at everything, you'll realize what I'm saying is true. You'll realize that it's truth to what I'm saying. And I'm going to start off by saying, ever since the ending of slavery, racism has been the biggest problem in America. You can't fix other countries. You can't fix anything unless you fix the country here. And one of the biggest problems in this country is racism. We don't try to kill it. We don't try to do anything. We just frown upon it and say it's wrong. But we don't stop it because we say, oh, part of the Freedom of Speech Act. It's part of freedom of speech, touch it. And I always wondered, why is that? Why is it part of freedom of speech? It's wrong. It should be. Racism is damn near a form of terrorism. It's definitely genocide. That's all racism is genocide. But yet still, genocide is wrong. But yet still, being racist is okay. And, it's his opinion. Oh my God, you can't, arrest somebody for their opinion. That's fine. You're right. But what happens when you make your opinion public? When you go out and you announce your opinion in front of everybody and say, this is how I feel. And I want others to feel like how I feel. But this is how I feel. What happens when you do that? Why isn't that a crime? Why isn't it that come in and go, okay, we have to arrest you now because you're preaching hate? Perfect example of what I'm talking about is the Ku Klux Klan. Ku Klux Klan is allowed to protest. They're allowed to protest wherever they're at. They're allowed to have their rallies and protests and preach their hate to anybody that's willing to listen. Why do we allow it? One of the things people say is freedom of speech. They have the right to say something. So I go, okay, cool. So that freedom of speech is around the board, right? Yeah, it's supposed to be around the board. Okay. So how come if two men from a different country come here, sit out in the middle of Times Square, and protest and say how shitty America is, how come they're labeled terrorists? They're doing the same thing. They're preaching hate. But they're labeled terrorists and put in Guantanamo Bay and treated like dirt. Whereas the Ku Klux Klan are allowed to protest in the hundreds of thousands to walk these streets. And no one says, all right, we need to arrest them and put them in jail. Hey, let's send them to Guantanamo Bay because they're terrorists. They're terrorizing anybody that isn't white. We don't do that. We say that's freedom of speech, but we say that's terrorism. But they're doing the exact same shit. How come one word is for one word is for none? It's another word for something else. For over here, How come we don't call slavery genocide? The Jews were rounded up because they were Jewish, put in camps and killed. Black folks were rounded up, sent to work on fields, and if they didn't do it, they were killed. Kind of sounds similar to me. So how come slavery wasn't considered genocide? How come slavery is, what happened? We should have done that, and it was wrong. But what is the big difference there? If you look at both of them, the big difference is that one is minority and one is white. It's wrong when it's done to the white man. It's okay when it's done to everybody else. Now a lot of people are saying, oh, come on, RJ, really? With this shit, are you really going to say that? Yeah, because you know what? If you're a minority, you're a second-class citizen of America. You don't want to believe it, just look at the shit you can and cannot do in America. I can't ride down the street blasting my music in my car without a police officer following me or pulling me over. But I've seen tens of thousands of white people blasting their fucking music, riding down the street, no cop pulling them over. Hell, a cop not even caring if they're blasting their fucking music. Shit, it could be 2 o'clock in the morning and they're blasting Sweet Home Alabama, and the cop is probably jamming to that shit in the car himself. Like, I can ride down the street and blast "Bitches Ain't Shit But Hoes and Tricks," and next thing I know, I'm getting pulled off and talk about noise complaint. Nobody wants to hear that. Music is music. Don't give me, oh, well, your music is, violent. And Sweet Home Alabama is a sweet song. It's not violent. So heavy metal, rock and roll is pretty violent. I've listened to some of those lyrics. And if violence is such a big problem, then why do we have violent movies? I just went to go see a violent movie called Terminator. Genesis loved it, by the way. Went to go see it. And they're pretty violent. School buses blowing up and shit. If violence is such a problem, then we should ban it. Like, I recently seen on Facebook, and Facebook has been the place where I hate to go from time to time, because I've always seen somebody putting up something fucking stupid that makes me want to go, you're fucking retarded. But then I have to realize that, one, I'm pretty cool with these people, and I don't want to end a friendship on a disagreement of me saying your fucking post is dumb. And two, they have the right to say that. I have the right to ignore them and move on with my day, because it's not my right to call them out and say they're stupid for their opinion. Everybody has that, and that right in America. Even if their opinion is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. I'm about to talk about an opinion that I don't agree with, that I think was kind of silly. One of my friends, I'm not going to mention the name, but they're probably going to know that I'm talking about their page. Dude, I still love you. You're still my brother. He wrote on his page, everybody's flipping out about the Confederate flag. If we're going to ban the Confederate flag, we need to ban rap music, because it both talks about violence. They both breed violence. Well, Confederate flag doesn't breed violence. It celebrates slavery. It's a big difference. And I'm going to get into that, because I know some of you white folks are going, no, it doesn't. It does. I'm going to get into that. Rap music, yes, is very violent, but so is rock and roll. So if we're going to ban rap music, we need to ban rock. Some hardcore rock, like Slipknot. Oh, you didn't think I know about Slipknot, huh? Let me think. Korn. Korn is some violent shit. I've heard some violent shit in Korn. Hey, as much as I love Nirvana, and I think Nirvana is one of the greatest rock bands, yes, your boy does listen to Nirvana. It's one of the greatest rock bands that ever, grunge bands, I should say, that ever came out. They have a song called Rape Me. Very graphic. Rape me? You want someone to rape you. If you're going to ban rap, you got to ban everything else. Then, if you're going to ban that stuff, then you have to go along and start banning movies. Terminator Genesis. As much as I like the movie, gotta ban it. Hey, all those Avenger movies, and the Captain America and all that, it's too violent. Ban it. Ban this, ban that. So, if you ban one, you gotta ban a whole bunch of other shit. And the Confederate flag has nothing to do with rap violence. Okay? Violence is everywhere. Then we're gonna have to start banning people from having violence outside. There's gonna be a little guy that walks around with a censorship shirt that says he's here to censor shit. So when you're ready to go fight somebody, he comes, oh no, violent, can't have you guys fight, and gotta censor this. You guys fight, you guys can go to jail. So when I read that comment, I chuckled a little bit. I was a little chuckle, and I said that has nothing to do with why blacks are mad about the Confederate flag. It has nothing to do with that. I'm going to break it down why blacks are mad about the Confederate flag, because a lot of white folks don't understand why blacks are mad about the Confederate flag. We're mad about the Confederate flag not because you guys want to walk around and wave the flag in the air and say Southern pride. We're not mad about that. We don't give a fuck if you want to wave that damn flag. We're mad that you're downgrading it, trying to say that the South never went to war for slavery. I've heard so many Southern people say, "Oh, the South never went to war for slavery. That was minor. You know, it was other stuff that we went to the war for. That flag doesn't mean that stuff. That's why we're mad. That's why we hate that flag. That's why you had that young black woman climb that pole and take that goddamn flag down. And get arrested for it, by the way, but take that goddamn flag down. And that's why we say we don't want you guys waving the flag, because you're downgrading what the flag. Like, if you guys would just come out and say, yeah, back in the days, this flag did mean it was, for slavery. But we're trying to change that now. We're trying to make it Southern pride. And so, for you to be Southern, we would probably embrace it more and say, okay, they're trying to change the flag. They're trying to make it a new meaning. We're okay with it. All right, go ahead. But to just plain out come out and just try to act like the South never went to the war with the North because of slavery, as if it wasn't a big part of the war, that, that was a minor part of it. That wasn't really that big. It was all these other things. That pisses us off, because now you're trying to say that you really didn't care for slavery, which is a fucking lie. Here's some facts to prove why it was a fucking lie. One, if slavery wasn't such a big reason why you guys went to war, in the Civil War, then when Mr. Lincoln, President Lincoln, said, hey, to all the black folks that were slaves, if you come up to the North and fight for us, you're free. Knowing that this tactical move would help them win the war, because the North was losing. South was kicking the North's ass until Lincoln made that tactical move to say, hey, for all the black folks that are slaves, escape, come to the North, fight for us, you'll be free. I promise I'll make you free. It was a tactical fucking move. Brilliant, by the way, if I can say so myself. Very brilliant. Fucked up, but brilliant. Tactical move, right? When Lincoln did that, why didn't the South say, well, if you're going to do that, well, instead of going all the way up to the North to be free, we'll let you guys be free down here if you fight with us. You're already Southerners. Fight with us. We'll let bygones be bygones. We'll let that whole picking cotton shit go away. You guys can be free too, because this is not why we're fighting this war. We're fighting this war for other shit. So you guys being slaves, we don't even have this no more. We can do all that. No, the South didn't do that. The South didn't even try to do that. Yeah, there were some black folks that fought on the South, but they fought as slaves, not as free men. Get your facts together, folks, please. Slavery was one of the most important reasons why the South and the North had conflict. The North thought that owning a man was wrong. The South thought that free labor is great. Simple as that. So we can go. They went to war. It was other shit too. It was a tax issue. They didn't like the tax issue, and if I'm not mistaken, religion had something to do with it as well. I might be off on it. Might be a little bit off on it. But those were, it was three major reasons. And those were the three major reasons. Because when I was growing up, that's what we were taught in school. Now, it's a possibility that could not be the truth. Maybe the South did not really want slaves. I don't know. I wasn't alive back then. And we don't know anybody that was alive back then. All we have to go on is documents from back then to now, Those could have been, fabricated and all that stuff. But for right now, I'm going by what I read in my history books. And in my history books, one of the major reasons why the South and the North went at war was the disagreement of owning men, owning slaves. The North didn't want that anymore. They wanted to abolish slavery. They wanted people to, this was the land of the free. How can we say this is the land of the free when we owning people? It makes no sense. We look like hypocrites, and we're being laughed at by other countries. And the North was like, well, I'm not giving up my free labor. I got to start paying these motherfuckers to pick cotton when they was picking it for free? You must be out your goddamn mind. They're not even human. They're fucking blacks. Black people are not human. That's what they were saying back in those days. That was one of the major reasons. All right. Also, you need to know your history on this. That flag didn't come into play, the one that they wave around as Southern pride, into the war started, there was another flag that the Southerners had. Go look it up. That was their first flag. I don't have a problem. Again, I don't have a problem with people waving that fucking flag. I have the problem with people downgrading what the flag fucking means. That's like me walking around with a fucking SWAT sticker going, the Jews wasn't in the camps. The Jews never were in concentration camps. That wasn't a big reason why Germany was going to war and did all that stuff. That was a minor reason. That little thing was minor. So I'm gonna wear this little, SWAT sticker right here because it means good luck. That's what this means right here. Because originally it didn't mean good luck. It means good luck, and I want good luck in my life. So don't beat me up, because there's no hate here because that was minor. This is what it really meant. Good luck. No, it was brought up by hate. So when a person does wear a SWAT sticker, he has to say, "Whoa, look, listen, I don't go with the German shit, and I don't hate Jews and none of that stuff. This originally meant good luck. They have to explain it, and it's still frowned upon. And still, all you got to do is say, well, no, I don't hate black folks. Southern pride. And people go, yeah, Southern pride. And a lot of white people who are not fucking Southerners, by the way. Okay, if you live in Pennsylvania, you're not a damn Southerner. Okay, simple as that. You are a North guy. You're a Northerner. If that's even a fucking word. You're from the fucking North. Guess what? When the war happened, people that was in Pennsylvania were fighting on the North side. So please, stop acting like you fucking idiots are Southerners. I hate walking down the street. You live in fucking Pennsylvania. You was never born in Georgia. You were born right here in fucking Pennsylvania. Walking down the street talking about Southern pride. Bitch, you're not Southern. You're North. Okay? You represent the North. Right? You're not Southern. You represent the North. You're one of the North states. Get your history together. You're one of the North states. Southern states are further down. God, I hate that shit. That shit is so fucking annoying to me. Oh, Southern pride. You're not Southern. Dude, do you not realize where you're at on the map? New York is right there. New York is right there, dude. It's right there. I drive to New York all the time. I know how close New York is. It's right there. You was a North guy. If this was a civil war going on and you were alive in a civil war, guess what? You'd be fighting on the North side, not the Southern side. I'm Southern at heart. Shut the fuck up. Alright, and again, I'm not fucking, I'm joking around right now. But still, it is really silly to be saying, Southern pride and you fucking was born and raised in Pennsylvania. You're North all day, man. Alright? So, that's why we hate the Confederate flag. We do not care that you guys want to wave your flag around. I don't give a flying fuck that you want to wave that flag around. What we want you to do to it is acknowledge that, yes, at one point this flag did mean and it stood for fucking slavery. But we're trying to change that. We're trying to make it Southern pride. And we probably would embrace you a little bit. And we'd probably go, okay, if you're trying to change it to Southern pride, thumbs up. Have fun with that. But not sit there and downgrade and go, oh, well, slavery wasn't a really big part of the Civil War. The fuck are you talking about? It was one of the main reasons. No, not really, Slavery was a little part. And again, excuse my burping, but again, if it wasn't a big part, one of the facts I just threw out there, why didn't the Southerners counteract what Lincoln did by saying, no, fight for us, you'll be free too? Because I'm pretty sure those black men down there that was picking cotton would have probably fought for the South before they fought for the North. The North won because they got a lot of slaves to fight for. Because again, the South was kicking the North's ass before Lincoln came up with the great, brilliant strategy of saying, well, let's just free the slaves in the South and tell them to come up here, fight for us, and they'll get their freedom. So, that's that. Alright? Now, let's get back to the second class citizenship in America. Because it exists. And this is part of it. The whole Confederate flag thing is part of it because We're not making big deals about this Confederate flag. And I've learned something living in America. 30 years. And I'm actually going to be 30 in a couple more weeks. Happy birthday to me, yay. Um, I've learned something. And I've learned that this shit is real. Like the second class citizenship is real. And how I learned it was actually I learned it recently because I was one of those people that used to yell, "Don't blame the white man for everything." And I still am, I still stick by that. Don't blame the white man for everything. It's not the white man's fault. Because some of this shit is our fault. But I started realizing with all the shit that was going on and the downplaying of the shit, and how white folks were going up and defending this shit. Defending the Southern flag, defending the cops that killed innocent black men, defending, you know, racism with the Ku Klux Klan. I just would sit back and go, why? If this is not how you believe, this is not what you believe is right, why are we saying racism is okay? And it hit me. Majority of white folks in America would not mind if slavery was still alive today. Majority. Some would be appalled to it and be like, owning a man is wrong, or owning someone because of base of their skin is wrong. Some would. But majority of white folks would not mind slavery. Today, because it don't affect them. It does not affect them. I'm white. That doesn't bother me. Like, I don't have nothing to do with it. I'm white. And that's the attitude. I'm white. It doesn't fucking affect me. You're the one that's going to have to deal with that because you're black. I'm white. Or because you're Spanish. You got to deal with that shit. I got to do it. Because, let's be frank. When I say minorities, I'm talking about black folks and Spanish folks. We're the ones that get the shit the most in this goddamn country. Every other ethnic race has a chance to do whatever they want here and get less and less shit. Even I'm not even gonna go there because I don't want to offend nobody. But every other race gets a chance, and when they come here, it's you can be all you want to you can be. It's the land of the free. It's open for you, except for Spanish folks and black folks. We get the shit, in America. Like recently, Donald Trump just said, a bunch of shit about Mexicans, which was fucking wrong. And everybody's like, Donald Trump is a fucking racist. And I still stick by my guns and say, Donald Trump is not racist. He's just one of those white guys that it doesn't affect him because he's white. He doesn't care about that shit because he's white. So he'll say that shit because it's not going to affect him. He's a white guy. He can go, one of the funniest jokes I've ever heard was on, I forgot what movie it was, where the guy was like, yo, we can go back and, I think it was Hot Tub Time. No, I think Hot Tub Time Machine did the joke again. Or they might have did it in the first one. I don't know. It might have been Hot Tub Time Machine, where the guy was like, we can go back any time period except for right here, because if we go back that far, you're not going to be welcome very much. So that was a joke. You're not going to be welcome very much. He's like, we can go back anytime we want, but you got to pick a certain time period. Like, you got to stop at a certain area before you like, oh, shit, I don't want to go no further than 1982. Like, anything further than that, I'm not going to be very welcome too much, Motherfuckers is going to be like, hey, get out of here, nigger. So he's like, we can go way back. We can go in 50 something, but you gotta stay at 1982 because you can't go no further than that. So that was the kind of the joke. I didn't say how the joke, like how they put the joke out, because I don't remember it. But that was the pretty much the joke. Like, we can go anywhere we want except for you. You gotta go to this time period because you're not gonna be very welcomed if you go further. So, as a white man, most white folks, they are oblivious to it because it doesn't affect them. Like sometimes, and when people are oblivious to things, the best way to make them see it is that it has to happen to them. Like Donald Trump has to have something extremely racist happen to him for him to realize, holy shit, what I've been saying is fucking completely racist, you know. But it's not gonna happen at that point because if anybody does something extremely racist to Donald Trump, that is a wrap. It's done for that person. Whereas Donald Trump can literally go up and say that what he said about Mexicans and still run for president and all could almost win. He's not gonna win. I can tell you that right now. He's not gonna win. And could almost win the election. Now, if you reverse that and you have a black guy go up there and say, you know, basically what I'm saying, that, you know, blacks are second class citizens and, you know, majority of white folks, which is the fucking truth, then I'm saying majority of white folks wouldn't mind slavery this now in age. He probably wouldn't even make it out to primaries before motherfuckers is like, you're too extremist. You know, sorry, you can't have you. You know, you're too extreme. But thank God I'm not running for president. Because if I was running for fucking president, I'd probably be like, oh my God. Like, you know, I want to run for city council for my city. You know, but I have a whole different issue on my city. Like, what my beliefs are in my personal life won't affect what I do for the city. You know what I mean? Like I said, I do believe that Spanish folks and black folks, so that I'm going to say minorities, are second class citizens in America. Like, we are the lowest of low. And it's fucked up. And I'm tired of that. Like, when you wake up and you get in your car and you are scared that if you get pulled over, this might be your last day alive, over just asking the question of why you pulled me over, officer, or what does that have to do with me, officer, or questioning that officer about anything, and you're scared that he's just gonna pop a cap in your ass because you're questioning, because you're not supposed to question, because if he pulls you over, you're just supposed to do what he says and accept that ticket, even though you know the shit he's giving you is fucking wrong and bogus. You're scared that might be the end of your life. It's wrong, because no white man has ever felt that way when a cop pulled him over, even if it was a black cop, because if that black cop did anything like that, it's a wrap for him. He's going to jail. He's going under the fucking jail. You know, it's that simple. We're second class citizens. When I started realizing, I started sitting back going, that is fucked up. And then we have some people who are also in the category of second class citizens that are yelling, you know, well, if you don't say nothing about it, it'll go away. Like, one person quoted a Morgan Freeman quote. You know, how do you deal with racism, Morgan Freeman? You just ignore it. Morgan Freeman, to me, is one of the smartest men. I've never met the guy, but he seems like he's one of those intelligent guys, like, very intelligent. You know, and the guy can narrate his ass off. Like, I can watch anything this motherfucker narrates. Even that boring ass fucking dolphin movie, I still was watching it going, fucking love this guy's voice. You know, so I love him as an actor, I love him as a narrator, think he's very intelligent, but he said something fucking stupid. And we all say something. I've said stupid shit. I think I'm very intelligent, but I've said some dumb shit before. You know, I think I had a podcast that I did. I was very tired when I did the podcast. I think my last podcast, I was saying some dumb shit on my last podcast. But I was very fucking tired. So I did that podcast when I was tired. I should have done it when I was tired. I should have done that podcast when I was fully awake to get, you know, what I was trying to say. So I think I'm going to do that podcast over, but not right now. But anyway, I've said some dumb shit. And people are going to probably say I'm saying dumb shit now. But his whole thing of ignore it is the dumbest thing ever. Because Martin Luther King didn't ignore it. You know, I'm pretty sure it was a bunch of people telling Martin, don't do it. You know, Dr. King, don't go out there and make a scene. Because the more you talk about it and the more you bring it up, the more it's just going to, you know, frustrate the white folks, and they're going to continue doing it to us. But he continued doing it because he knew the more he talked about it, the more people he get involved in it, it's going to make a change. So we need to talk about it more. We need to discuss it more. We need to be talking about this shit. We need to be saying, you know, why are we second class citizens? Why is it okay for the Ku Klux Klan to march up this and down the street protesting this hateful shit, and no one says, okay, enough's enough, or no, you're not allowed to do that. That's, we're not. You can believe what you believe in your house, but when you bring it out to the streets and start trying to make everybody else and force everybody else to believe it, you're now crossing the line. You're now invading other people's space with this crap, and we don't want it, and it's wrong, and it should be illegal. Because now you're borderline terrorists. Because now you're terrorizing folks with this bullshit. Because that's what they're doing. The KKK, when they march, they terrorize folks with that bullshit. So you're now terrorists, and being a terrorist is wrong, so it's illegal to do it. But we don't. We go, oh, freedom of speech. They're allowed to do that stuff. Now, I want to put the question out there to people. Now, before I put this question out there, I want to let people know that Black Panther movement. This new Black Panther movement, I do not agree with this new Black Panther movement of killing white folks. That's not the answer to anything. I don't know who the fuck these people are, because the old Black Panther movement would not agree to this shit either. I want people to understand that the Black Panther movement is nothing like the Ku Klux Klan. The Black Panther movement was to defend the black community against people that are trying to do harm to the black community. They never was just going out killing folks. They talked about, we're going to defend ourselves against folks that's trying to kill us. If you look at all the shit, from the '70s, the Black Panther movement, if you watch that, watch the movie Panther. It goes in depth with the movie Panther. Watch the movie Panther. I urge everybody to watch that movie Panther. That's a good ass fucking movie. It explained, it's plain as day that they only was there to protect black folks who were being harmed by another race, mainly white, but by another race. They weren't there to harm other races. They were just there to protect their race of folks that were being attacked. And at that time, we were being attacked. Let's say the Black Panther movement was exactly like the Ku Klux Klan, where they thought blacks were superior to everybody else in the world. They hated everybody else, and they spewed their hatred. And they wore black sheets, just like how the Ku Klux Klan wore white sheets. They wore black sheets, and they had whatever stickers or whatever on it, and they walked around with it, and they spewed their hatred. How long do you think before? Not only will it be this, like, let's say they started in the '70s, after civil rights movement was over. They started in the '70s. How long before you think that whole movement would have been dismantled, shut down, and everybody that was a part of it would have been labeled terrorists? Because the Black Panther movement was labeled terrorists, and they wasn't even pushing that shit. But how long do you think before it's shut down, most of them are killed, and they're all labeled terrorists? If they did what they did to the Black Panther movement, this is an extreme group. How long do you think they're gonna last? Black Panther movement lasted, and it's still around, but these new Black Panthers are on some bullshit, and they're gonna end up getting themselves fucking killed. How long do you think it would have lasted? Probably, I wouldn't even say a year. Shit would have probably lasted maybe 6 months before it was shut down, most of the leaders killed, and the rest in jail for terrorism. But yet and still, the Ku Klux Klan has been around for many, many years. And they've lynched black folks. They've lynched black folks. They've killed black folks. They've shot folks. They blew up buildings with black folks in it. And yet still, that group has not been disbanded. The leaders have not been put in jail for terrorism or killed for terrorism. Nothing has happened to them. They're still able to go around and produce hate. Why is that? Yet still, groups that were for black folks, Black Peace Stone Party, Black Panthers. I'm trying to think of some other people that were pro-black, are pretty much all dismantled. Leaders are killed, and dead and gone. Hey, look, you got fucking all the black leaders that were pro-black, helping dead and gone. And not one of these people even said they were a better race. Not one of these parties is like blacks are better race or superior race. All they said was we're not second class fucking citizens. I'm even scared saying this shit because I don't know who the fuck's gonna listen to this shit and then be trying to fucking take my black ass out. Right? So it's kind of scary talking about this shit. But all these people said the same thing I'm saying. We're not second class citizens. We have the right, just as much rights as everybody else, and we should be treated the same way. You can look at Spanish folks' history and look at the same thing. Their leaders, people that fought for them, dead and gone, are in jail for terrorism. Yet still, Ku Klux Klan, for many years, have been able to walk this earth. Not one leader, unless he did kill somebody, not one leader in jail for terrorism or killed because of terrorism. Why? These are lesser offenses. These offenses over here are saying we just want to not be treated like second class citizens anymore. These motherfuckers are basically saying we're better than everybody. And we're the superior race and we're the dominant race. And no one said, hey, it's enough of that bullshit. Get out of here. And the answer is because most white folks in America don't mind it. Because it doesn't affect them. It don't affect me. I don't care. It only affects people that are not white. It don't affect me. I don't give a shit. Black people gotta deal with that shit. But as soon as a white person has to deal with anything that could affect them, it's we gotta stop it, we gotta get rid of it, we gotta get it done. And it's fucked up. And it's about time we stop this bullshit. Like, we have to say, hey, enough's enough. And the only way, and this is what I've always said, the only way racism is going to be done and gone for is one, we make a law about racism. That you're no longer allowed to spew your hate of another race because it's wrong. To hate a race because of their color, their skin color, is wrong. We have discrimination clauses, and that's to get a job, to get a house, to get a car. You're no longer, allowed to discriminate, even though still people are discriminated against. You have to prove it now, which is fucking hard to prove discrimination. They made it hard to prove discrimination. And it's still done. It's still practiced. By all means, it's still practiced. I got discriminated against at my last job. Because the guy that was... Matter of fact, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and break into the story. I don't work for these motherfuckers no more, so I don't give a shit. If anybody fucking hears this, I don't give a shit if they go give the tape to Shad. You can go give the tape to Shad. Fuck Shad. I don't give a shit about Shad anymore. Right? This is what happened at my previous job. And this is why I say I've gotten discriminated against. But I have to prove that that fat fucker did this. As everybody knows, I was a security guard with SHAG, Detective Agency, and I worked at the greatest place on this planet, the Assurant cell phone place. If you're not from New York, Assurant cell phone place is a place where they fix cell phones and shit, iPhones and all that crap. If you're from New York, you pretty much probably worked there before. So I was security at the Assurant cell phone place. Now, when I first started, I was the dock guy, so I had to walk constantly on the dock, for 8 hours. I couldn't sit down. I couldn't do anything. I had to walk back and forth on the dock. What I thought was the dumbest thing ever. So I fought tooth and nail to get off the fucking docks because my feet were fucking killing me, dude. You know what I mean? Like, it was dumb. Like, I don't know why I couldn't sit down and watch the docks. You know, I'm a fucking security guard. My job is to observe shit. You know, this guy that we worked with, you know, the fat guy named Larry. Yeah, I said his fucking name because I don't give a shit. This guy that we worked with named Larry, who was the HR, so pretty much he was the big boss there. The head of HR, he's pretty much the big boss there. I don't know how the hell the head of HR, you know, the head of HR guy, the guy that's the head of HR is the big boss. I know I just stumbled there, but whatever, because this shit really pisses me off. So anyway, he was the head of HR there, right? I mean, aka big boss, right? So he had a problem with security guards because he didn't understand how security guards work. And I believe he still don't understand how security guards work. You know, everybody knows the job of a security guard is to observe. We're not allowed to do anything, but we're there to observe. You know, pretty much we have a lot of free time. You know, this is why we're called fucking flashlight cops and all that shit, because we don't do what cops do. We're not on the same level as cops. We just observe shit, and we call the real cops when we see something wrong. Hey, I observed a motherfucker stealing. You need to get down here. So we're called flashlight cops because we use a flashlight a lot and don't see what's going on. You know, we're not allowed. You know, we're called whistleblowers. Well, whistleblowers is for motherfuckers that snitching. But, you know, some people do call us whistleblowers. We blow our whistle to tell you, hey, I see you. You know, to let you know we see you. We see you, motherfucker. You know, or at least try to get the attention of a cop. Hey, I need your help. You know, blow the whistle. You. Alright. So anyway, he didn't understand that. That's the job of a security guard, to observe. That's all we do is observe. So he wanted the security guards to go the extra beyond to do shit that security guards don't do. And he didn't want to pay us for not working. But he didn't realize that security guard's job is to pretty much just observe. So that means most of the time we're sitting on our ass doing nothing and just watching people. So you're pretty much paying us just to watch people. That's it. Being a security officer is pretty much like the easiest fucking job you can do. You get paid to do nothing but watch folks. But he didn't understand it, so he didn't feel like paying people to do nothing. Which is, again, job of a fucking security officer. That's why I say he didn't understand security officers. I'm sorry for burping again. I've been drinking fucking brisk tea all night, so I've been burping a little bit. So anyway, I finally got the desk job. Finally got into the desk area. You know, even actually kicked my brother from another mother out of that job. I didn't even know they were going to kick him out of that spot. If I knew that, I wouldn't have took it, you know. But they kicked him out to put me in that spot, which I thought, you know, I thought Shad was stupid for doing that. Like, you know, why are you kicking people out to put me in that spot? I'm nobody special. But apparently I pissed off HR so bad that I pissed Larry off so much that he was like, move him from the docks. I was a fucking smart ass on the docks. You know, they had us do dock inspection. And what I used to do, on the dock inspection paper, it said, if any inconsistencies on the docks, you know, anything broken or anything like that, I must immediately get in contact with somebody from HR. So, you know, me being the smart ass that I am, I took that as, I'm getting off the fucking docks with this. Because the docks that I was on was broke. You know, door 14 was broke. You know, the level on door 14 was like wobbly and people can get hurt over there. So every time I would go do dock inspection, I would write down on my piece of paper that door 14 is broken, and then I would take my little piece of paper and I would waltz all the way down to HR and I would put it in HR's mailbox. So every day I had to do dock inspection every day. So every day they would get a paper from me with my number and my name on it stating that dock 14 is broken. So they pretty much called Shad and said, look, get him off the docks because this shit is pissing me off and I don't want him there no more. So they moved me from the docks. So I get moved from the docks and I get finally put on the desk. You know, they kicked my brother from another mother off the desk, which I didn't find out until he told me, and I was like, that's fucked up. You know, and I was mad about that. But they wasn't gonna put me back on the docks. Plus, I didn't want to go back on the docks anyway because of some other shit that this clown Larry did on the docks that was very very much illegal. And I'm not gonna talk about it because I don't want anybody that works there to hear this and go get Ocean and motherfuckers be talking about I cost them their job. Not gonna do that. So, but anyway, I'm just gonna talk about my story and what happened. So anyway, I finally get on the desk, and I was on the desk, and I'm loud. I'm from New York City. We are loud individuals, and I guess the issue that I won't talk about, I'll just bring up what happened with me. One of the employees was talking to me about this issue that was on the docks, and I told him that it was wrong and they can't do that. If OSHA comes in here and sees that shit, this place is getting shut down. And they agreed with me and blah blah blah, and I was loud about it. I guess I'm starting to believe that one of my coworkers told on me. One of my Shad security guards, because they were quick fast telling people. Couldn't trust damn soul in there, but the people that I was cool with, I could trust them. But most of them couldn't fucking trust them as far as I threw them. So one of my associates, I'm pretty sure, called Shad and told on me and said I was irate and going crazy over something. And it really wasn't. I was just fucking loud and laughing and being RJ. I don't know who else to be. So my supervisor came in and yeah, your client's always right and blah 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 and all that crap. And I was like, which I don't believe in that bullshit that the customer's always right and the client's always right. No, they're not. Okay, simple, plain and simple. If a motherfucker comes in McDonald's and argues you, wants a Big Mac, but then argues with you about the special sauce being on Big Mac, and I've never had a Big Mac with special sauce on it, he's a fucking liar. He's not right. He's fucking lying to you. And I'm supposed to get in trouble because I'm telling this motherfucker all Big Macs come with special sauce. Well, not the Big Mac that I had last week and the week before that. It didn't come with special sauce. No, he's a fucking liar. He's lying and he's not telling the truth. He's not right. The fucking companies say that shit because they don't want to lose customers. And they don't want to lose that money because it's always about the money with them. They don't care about nothing else but the fucking money. So they tell you that shit so you can follow that stupid rule. I never follow that fucking rule because motherfuckers is wrong. There's no one that's constantly right all the time. You want to follow that dumb rule, that's fine, you follow that. But telling your employees they have to follow that rule is the dumbest thing ever. Especially when they know that that customer is being an asshole and is wrong. Alright, so anyway, that client customer bullshit is a lie. I hate that. I think companies need to man up and start backing their fucking employees. But, we live in an era where that shit won't happen. And I'm going to talk about that in the next episode about companies not black backing their employees and shit. But anyway, so that incident happened. I was kind of on the not, being so loud anymore and kind of keeping my thoughts to myself on what was going on in there. Because, again, I didn't know who I could trust because motherfuckers was going back telling people about what I was saying. So, this one particular day, now, before I even get to that one particular day, matter of fact, you know what? I'm going to go talk about it because I have to talk about that before. This one particular day, a young man decides to come, a young black man, I should say, young black man decides to come through my metal detector. Now, I know this young black man. Do I personally know this young black man? No. But I met this young black man there. And I used to have little conversations with this young black man. I don't know his name, but we used to have conversations about shit. He'd come up and start talking to me about things. And I'm not going to be rude. I talked to him back because I talked to everybody there. And there were some people that I actually knew from back in the day. Like there was a chick there that her sister, I know her and her sister. And I used to talk to her on a regular basis because I knew her outside of this place. It was freaking. I knew a couple of people there. Shayla's aunt was one of the people that I knew that she worked there. I would talk to her on a regular basis because I knew her. Alright, so there were people there that I knew. And I told Shadback. Like, I know people here. Like, so if they talk to me, I'm going to talk back to them. Because they had this rule that you can be friends, but not friendly. Or you can be friendly, but not friends. Or it was the dumbest rule ever. Because to be friendly, you would have to be a friend. The guy was on another planet. Alright, Mr. Larry was on another planet. But anyway, so I knew the guy, but I didn't know the guy. Like, we had a little conversation. I didn't know the guy's name. Never hung out with him outside of that place. When he came up, he talked to me. I wasn't rude. I talked back to him. So this guy decided to come down my metal detector. I'm by myself. Because from time to time, we're allowed to get up and go get coffee, shit like that, because we have to keep ourselves awake. It's 4, 8. I did an 8 to 4. Some of them did 10 to 6. It's not easy keeping yourself awake at night, especially if you're used to going to sleep at night. It's hard things, so you gotta get coffee on. So my partner got some coffee, which was all good, because I don't expect shit to happen, because it's never happened before. But no. Today they had to test me. So the guy comes down and he walks through the metal detector. And he has something folded up in a piece of paper. Now, the rules is simple. You have to look through the pieces of paper. Anything that goes in that box, you gotta check it. The coat, you gotta pat it down, make sure no phones or nothing is still around here. My whole thing is if the phones are registered, how the fuck are you gonna steal something anyway without somebody going, oh shit, you're catching that motherfucker. But whatever the case may be. So, we had to fold a piece of paper in. He had the phone in the folded piece of paper. Right? I'm guessing he had a phone in the folded piece of paper because I've never seen it. But he had a folded piece of paper. And he put it down in the box. And he walks through the metal detector. He picks up, folded piece of paper. And I say, hey, my man, gotta see your folded piece of paper. So the nervousness came along. So common sense at that moment kicked in and said, this motherfucker got a cell phone. So I get up. I'm like, open the folded piece of paper. He's like, mumbling. I can't hear what he's saying. Again, when common sense kicked in, this motherfucker's trying to steal a cell phone. Like, out of all days, why the fuck, out of all places he could have came down, why did he come down my line? Which I'm already ticked because he probably came down my line because I'm black and he black and he thinking, my brother, I'm black, you black, let me go. So it's fucking pissing me off at that point because now I'm like at the point where I want to smack the shit out of this little nigga because he's doing this shit because he thinks I'm gonna let him slide because I'm black. I don't like that shit. That's one thing I hate. Like, I'm all for black pride. I love being black. But if you're doing something wrong and you look at me and I'm black and I'm standing there and you looking at me like you ain't gonna say nothing, no, you shouldn't be around me doing that shit in the first place. Doesn't matter if we both black. Don't do that around me. Go do that somewhere else. Alright? So he came down my line with that bullshit. So I'm pissed off about that already. He's mumbling, and we're around the corner where the lockers are, and we're talking. And then, I'm like, look, if you don't open up your paper, I can't let you go. So just take your ass back in there, because I ain't say it nicely to him. Go back in there. I looked at him, I gave him a dirty look, said, go back in there. Like, you're not even supposed to be out here right now. Go back in there. So he goes back in. So I'm sitting there, and the one manager comes running down, right? I should have knew it was a fucking type of setup. Cause I'm starting to believe they tried to set my ass up because they didn't want me there in the first place. Cause, I was a loudmouth. When I seen something wrong, I said something about it. And they didn't like that. So I think the black dude and the managers and all the motherfuckers were all working together to set my black ass up. Cause if that black little, and matter of fact, I'm gonna ask somebody if that little black motherfucker still working there. So that little black motherfucker still working there. Or if he's working at Sandhurst, it was a fucking setup. You know what I mean? And that shit right there is fucked up. That means you set me up to get kicked out of there, and I will definitely try to find a lawyer and sue the shit out of him. Alright, so, anywho. Sorry, my throat was itching. I sent this little black ass back. Not, maybe 5 minutes later, one of the big bosses came through and was like, hey, did a little black guy come through here? And I was like, yeah, I sent him back in because he wasn't supposed to be out here right now. So he goes, all right, cool. And he walked back in, right? So I'm thinking, what the fuck is going on? Like, 5 minutes later, you come over here asking me questions about the little black dude. Like, you must already know this little motherfucker was trying to steal. So I don't even need to mention that he was trying to steal something. Because honestly, I don't know because he wouldn't unfold the fucking paper. So I don't need to mention that he was trying to steal. He, a lady that I know in there came up and she was like, yo, what happened? I was like, this little nigga I think was trying to steal a cell phone. I was like, I don't really know because he wouldn't unfold the fucking piece of paper, let me see what was in there. And I was like, now the manager walking over here asking me questions about I see him and then, where you going? I was like, he ain't going anywhere. I sent him back in there because, it wasn't time for me. Yeah, she's like, you might want to go tell him that he was trying to sell a cell phone. I was like, I'm pretty sure they know he was trying to sell a cell phone. Like, it makes no sense for him to come over here and talk to me. He's like, yeah, but, to protect your own ass, tell him that he was trying to steal a cell phone. Like, you might not know what it was, but just let them know that you're trying to steal a cell phone. So I was like, you know what, you're right. I need to protect my own ass. Like, I shouldn't, assume that they know. I need to protect my own ass. So I went, told my partner, said, yo, look, I think this little nigga was trying to steal a cell phone. Blah, blah, blah. And, told the big boss and let them know and all that. This is when the BS started happening. Because, it's always bullshit. So, my partner, along with the big boss, was like, oh, you should have took whatever he had in his hand. So I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute, hold up. Isn't the rules in the book say that we're not allowed to put our hands on anybody, that we're not allowed to detain anybody, and we have no right to do none of that stuff? Like, if I tell them to do something, if they decide not to do it, I gotta go get a manager and they'll deal with them. So you want me now to physically go over and snatch what he has in his hand? That's me putting my hands on him. That's me doing something that I'm not allowed to do. So you guys can terminate me for doing that. Like, your rule book says that clear as day. So I'm thinking to myself, like, oh, okay. And I'm going, okay, cool, because I don't want to stir up the pot. Because I don't want to say, well, no, the handbook tells me I can't do that stuff. I don't want to stir up the pot. So I'm going, okay, cool. Because I got my own fucking security partner telling me, oh, well, that's what you're supposed to do. Kind of pissing me off, but I'm like, all right, cool. She was a cool person, so I'm not going to be mad at her. Like, I've never had problems with her or anything like that. But it was kind of, weird that, she's telling me I'm allowed to do this stuff, and I know for a fact in that book I'm not allowed to do nothing they're saying. So I'm like, motherfuckers read the book. Motherfuckers read the book. So I'm like, all right, whatever, cool. All right, next time I'll do that. Which I wasn't gonna do that shit next time. No, because then that's a setup. I do it, then you're like, oh, well, you wasn't really supposed to put your hands on it. Wait, the fuck? What do you mean? Like, you told me to take the, So I said I'm not gonna do that next time. I'm just, if somebody come through here with that bullshit, send them back in there, tell the manager that guy was trying to steal. They deal with that. That's them. All right, so next day happens. I come. Nobody calls me. My main boss from Shad doesn't call me now. These motherfuckers got my cell phone number, and they've got my house number. Hell, I don't live from where I live at. I live at 57. Well, I'm not gonna give out my address, but I live in the Parkway area. All right, Shad is on Roosevelt. Roosevelt is literally maybe 5 blocks away from the Parkway area. They could have sent a supervisor to my goddamn house in those little stupid ass Shad cars that be riding around here. Matter of fact, they have a Shad officer that works right at the Jefferson Center, which I'm across the street from, right at the fucking Jefferson Center. And they always send a supervisor over there to check on him. So when they sent that supervisor over there to check on him, they could have sent the supervisor to come over and talk to me. They didn't do none of that. Right? So which makes me believe that they was not trying to get in contact with me at all. my boss Ray said, "Oh, we tried to call you and all that stuff to get you from going to work." Bullshit. They could have had one of those shad supervisors drive to my goddamn house and tell me, "Hey, don't go to work today." But anyway, I travel to work, wasting my gas, going to work, and I get embarrassed because I'm not allowed on the premises by my fellow officers telling me I can't let you on the premises. They don't want you on the premises. You're not allowed to be here. And all this bullshit that no one's told me about. So now I look like I stole some shit on the premises, that I was a part of the conspiracy, even though I prevented someone from fucking stealing, which is hilarious to me, because, if he was really stealing cell phones, because again, I'm still skeptical on it, I'm still thinking that motherfuckers was testing motherfuckers, because they really didn't want my black ass there because I made too much noise. But let's give it the benefit of the doubt if this little motherfucker was stealing phones. Right? Let's say he was stealing phones, right? I prevented him from stealing phones from that day. That's my job, to stop, observe and stop, and then to tell what I observed, what I stopped, without physically putting my hands on them, to the supervisor. And it's their job to do what they need to do against him. That's what I did. I did my fucking job. I guess because I didn't make a big scene in there and all that. And here's a big quote, that he's black and I'm black, so we must be in cahoots with each other, because all black people are together, which is far from the fucking truth as can be. That I was like, you black, I'm black, black power. Go ahead, brother. I'm gonna let you go on slide with this one. Go ahead. Don't do it again, though, brother. That's what was thought. That's, in my book, discrimination like a motherfucker. But I can't prove that fat fucker Larry and the rest of those assholes on the supervisor side did that. I can't prove that. I can't prove that because I wasn't around when they decided I couldn't come back on campus. No other security guard can prove that either. Now, I can assume that's what's going on, and if I bring it up and say, well, you motherfuckers discriminated against me, all they're going to say is, no, we didn't. You got to prove it. It's hard to prove. It's hard to prove discrimination. It's not. Matter of fact, it's damn near impossible to prove discrimination unless it's plain someone was just fucking retarded and got caught being recorded saying something racist. It's hard to prove discrimination, but it's done every fucking day. A boss sees two guys kissing. He doesn't like gays, right? Next day, that guy's fired. He can come up with any fucking reason, especially in PA, any reason why he decided to fire that guy. Oh, he was late 5 times. And it can be clearly shown on his thing that he was late 5 times. And guess what? Probably 1 second late. But he was late 5 times, so I had to let him go. He's not reliable. And guess what? He'll get away with it. But the real reason why he got fired was because he was gay. But it's no way that guy can prove that his boss hates gay folks. That there's no way he can prove it. Because he doesn't go around calling people fags. Doesn't do anything. Discrimination is one of the most hardest things to prove. So even that law needs to be fixed and redone. But racism needs to be a law. Why should freedom of speech is great. Everybody should have freedom of speech. But when you're practicing hate, that freedom of speech should no longer be there. Because you don't let certain people do it. You can't call it terrorism on one end and say, oh, that's racism, that's different. When it's the same shit. You can't say 2 French guys standing in the middle of Times Square saying America sucks and giving reasons why America sucks. And then next thing you know, they're in jail for being terrorists. And then you got 100 Ku Klux Klan members saying how black people ain't shit and all niggas need to be hanged, and you go, freedom of speech, don't worry about it, it's all good. You know, as long as they don't hang anybody, we're okay. Well, these guys over here just talk about how shitty America is, and they actually have facts on how shitty America is. These guys are talking about hanging black folks, and that's not a terroristic act. You arrested those guys, but you're not arresting these guys. Second class citizenship, man. It's okay. As long as it's not happening to white folks, it's okay. No, oh, wait, that's happening to white folks? Go to jail. Gotta go. And again, it goes back to most white folks in America would not mind slavery nowadays because, again, it has nothing to do with them. They're not going to be slaves. We're going to own people. Oh, I get to own motherfuckers? I don't see nothing wrong with that. Now, they're not going to say it out loud because, again, it's frowned upon if you it's frowned upon by people if you're okay with that. You know, like the whole Walmart fight with the two white girls in Walmart was about the N-word. One girl thought it was okay to say the N-word. The other girl thought it was not right to say the N-word. And they ended up fighting at Walmart. Looking like fucking retarded people. No, and here's the funny thing. I haven't seen one media coverage on that shit. Like, Facebook was the media for that shit. You know, Facebook and YouTube was the media for that shit. The fucking news people didn't put it on there like that. And they said it one couple times, and they just said they were acting childish. Right? Acting childish. But they called black folks rioting in Baltimore monsters and terrorists and all that. Well, those two chicks that was fighting in Walmart were terrorizing customers with that bullshit they were doing in Walmart. Why weren't they called terrorists and monsters and all types of names? They were just called childish. You know, but we can go with the whole, like, I can't even believe I'm going to talk about this. I don't even like Rick Ross, but Rick Ross had a $2 million bill. No, actually, $3 million bill. Get out. He pistol whipped somebody with him in his partner, $3 million bill. And then another black guy had a $2 million bill. I've seen this on the internet. And it might not be true, but at $2 million bill. And the young man who killed black folks in the church had $1 million bill. Rick Ross didn't kill anybody. He pistol whipped somebody and is wrong. Totally. But he's got a higher bail than the guy who killed people in a church? What the fuck is wrong with that picture? And then you have white folks who are going, why is everything gotta be racist? You know, racial. Why are you gonna make everything racial? Because, motherfucker, we're living it. Like, don't tax me, why do I have to make everything racial when I have to walk down the street with this bullshit smacking me in the face every day, letting me know that I'm a second-class citizen. Because you're not dealing with this shit. I have to deal with it, and I'm tired of dealing with it. So you want to know why black people make everything racial? Because we have to walk down the street. You want to know why Latin folks, Spanish folks makes everything racial? Because we have to deal with this shit. We got to see Donald Trump on TV talking dumb shit about how Mexicans, are rapists and criminals and this and that. We have to see that shit. You don't see Donald Trump talking about how white folks are stealing our money. They're stealing our money and, making us buy shit that we don't need. You don't see Donald Trump talking that shit about that. But you do see Donald Trump talking about how Mexicans are rapists. We have to listen to that shit. We have to walk in the street. You do see in the media black kids being killed by police officers just for asking questions. We see that shit every day. I see it on Facebook all the time. What? The black dude is a video going up right now And I'm surprised it's not news. Because again, it's being covered up by the gay rights thing. Because that's the point of it, to cover up the bullshit. Because no one wants to talk about race. Because if you start talking about race and you start paying attention to this shit, you start realizing that Spanish folks and black folks, second class citizens. And you start realizing this shit is wrong. Nobody wants to talk about it. Right? Or nobody really gives a shit anymore. Like, I don't want to talk about race. Because race, you know. But I want to talk about it. And if you don't like it, here's the time you can turn off this shit and go continue watching Dragon Ball Z, doing the fuck you want to do. And that's not a shot at anybody because I watch Dragon Ball Z. But you can go watch whatever fuck you want to watch and live in your world and act like everything is all good and everything is all copacetic and that black people and white people are on the same page and we all have the same rights. There's no second class citizenship in America, and that kid doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. I'm not gonna listen to that fucking asshole. He just wants to make a big deal about nothing. Go back to watching your regular life. Don't worry about it. You be naive over there. I refuse to be naive. Alright? But I've seen this. Black guy stopped by 2 undercover cops. It's a video. It should be viral right now because the shit that was done was fucking wrong. 2 undercover cops for no fucking reason. Just fucking wrong. The one cop takes the guy's identification and puts it in his pocket. And the guy asks him, playing out, wait, how you gonna take my identification? Like, you're not allowed to take my identification. I didn't do anything, so why are you taking my identification? Because he was questioning that cop. Not only did that cop push him around, mush him in his face, but he sucker punched him. So the guy decided to fight back because he wasn't going to sit here and let some big fucking cop just sit on him and beat on him. And guess what? A swarm of cops came and arrested him for resisting arrest and fighting a cop. But yet still, no one's saying, hey, wait a minute, cop. You should have did what you did. You provoked that whole thing. There was another incident on YouTube of a young man with a Arizona can in a brown paper bag, and a undercover cop came over and harassed him about the brown paper bag. Right? And he said, well, it's not a bear, it's an Arizona can. All this harassment on this over Arizona can. Then the cop told him he had to leave the premises because he told the cop that it's an Arizona can. You're making a big deal out of nothing. It's not alcohol. I know the law. It got blown out of proportion until the young man was arrested. This one is on is on the YouTube. On the Facebook page that I have up. Go down, scroll down to, it's further down. It's a video. And the video is of blatant discrimination. Young white man in an open carry state has an AK-47 walking down the street. One cop pulls up and asks him, why does he have the car? Doesn't make him get on the ground, doesn't arrest him, doesn't take the gun, doesn't do anything, doesn't yell at him, doesn't point his gun at him or nothing. Has his hand on his gun, but never points it, never does anything. And the guy has a good, AK-47 wrapped around him. He's not holding it, looking like he's going to shoot anybody. He's got it wrapped around him, just walking down the street. Not aiming at anybody or anything. Says, why do you have the gun out there? He says, it's my right to walk around with my gun. It's an open carry state. I have my license for a gun. Done deal. I guess the cop ran his license and realized it was his right to have that open carry. Left him alone. Same state, same gun, same area, this time with a black guy. Matter of fact, not even all the way black, light skinned. But, this is why I don't understand this fucking light skin, dark skin war. We all go through the same shit. Walking down the street with that same gun, not pointing it, not shooting it, not doing anything down the street. And the fucking police, not one, not two, not three, but at least 5 fucking cop cars pulled up, pulled their guns out, made that young man get on the floor, take the gun as if he was a fucking terrorist, and then even told his pregnant wife that if she doesn't stop videotaping, they're gonna body slam her on her fucking stomach. You don't believe me? Go listen to the fucking video. Okay? Why was it different for the black man than it was for the white guy? See, nobody wants to admit this shit. Nobody wants to look at this shit. Nobody wants to see this shit. But guess what? I see this shit every fucking day. And you tell me I can't talk about it, or I can't describe it, or I can't say nothing about it because, just talking about it ain't gonna do nothing about it. Fuck you and whoever else thinks like that, because I'm gonna say as much as I can, whatever I can, because I'm tired of it. It's bullshit. That should have never happened. But yet still, nobody wants to sit there and go, this is wrong. This is fucking wrong. And we need to do something about it. Not even Barack Obama can do anything about it. And you gay folks out there, you guys got it good, man. You ain't gonna never have to worry about this shit. They arrested motherfuckers for saying shit to y'all. It's already a crime. Gay discrimination gets you, and it's easier to prove for some reason, but they're arrested motherfuckers. I gave a great example earlier of, it's hard to prove discrimination because of it. And it is still hard to prove discrimination, but if you use the word fag, you're going to jail. Now, and I told people I like using the word fag. I don't use it in that term. I like using the word fag, but I don't go outside and use that word in public. I have to tell my grandma, chill, don't say that word in public. You motherfuckers will arrest you. Look at Blair Underwood. Anybody who knows Blair Underwood called someone a fag has never had a career since. Yet and still, Dog the Bounty Hunter used nigger how many goddamn times? I don't know how many times Dog the Bounty Hunter used nigger. Back on TV, 2 years later. The only person that has not recuperated from using the word nigger was Michael Richardson, Kramer from Seinfeld. And the only reason why he hasn't recuperated for it because he went from using the word nigger to even saying if this was a couple of years ago, you guys would be hanging from trees. He kind of went far with it. Motherfuckers ain't fucking with him. Paula Deen will be back, folks. For all those who are thinking that Paula Deen is done, and the owner of the Clippers, Donald Sterling, those guys, they'll be back. Give it 2 more years. 2 more years, Donald Sterling will be owning something else you hear about this motherfucker in the news. 2 more years, Paula Deen will be back on Food Network, cooking up a storm. And motherfuckers that act like they don't remember that she talking about how she wanted her daughter to have a fucking, slave wedding. Now, again, I defended Paula Deen, I defended Donald Sterling, and I even defended fucking, what's his name? Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson's career was done after he said what he said about the Jews. If you'd have said that to some black folks and said, nigga this, he'd probably be back in movies and motherfuckers be fucking with him again. But he said something about the Jews and he's done deal. Alright, but I defended Paula Deen. I defended Dog the Bounty Hunter. And I'm black. And I defended them because I said that was their personal life. Somebody recorded them. And Donald Sterling. I defended Donald Sterling, Paula Deen, and Dog the Bounty Hunter. I said that's their personal life. They're allowed to think like that in their personal life. If she thinks that's, Paula Deen came from an age that was okay. So she doesn't know no better. That was one of the things I said. And I was like, 2, that's their personal life. They're not preaching hate. So I don't care if people think that they're better than all the other race because they're white, whatever the case may be. That's your personal opinion. You're allowed to have that. It's when you preach hate. It's when you take that and you go on a corner and you have a sign that says niggers are going to hell, or black folks are going to hell. And you ask that guy, well, why are black folks going to hell? Because they're black and they're sin against God, right? When you preach that shit, you should be arrested. You should go to jail because you're preaching hate. You're basically saying dumb shit, and it shouldn't be right because if a terrorist did all Americans are going to hell. And he stood outside and said, all Americans are going, well, not terrorists, but a Frenchman stands outside that same sign that says, all Americans going to hell. And you go, well, why are all Americans going to hell? Because they're American and they're idiots. Within an hour, he's going to Guantanamo Bay for terrorism. But yet still, that white guy over there with the Ku Klux Klan outfit, he can be there all day and all night because it's freedom of speech. He's a terrorist. He's just using freedom of speech. It's against the second-class citizens, so we don't care. They're second-class citizens anyway. Fuck them. They're second-class citizens. People need to start waking up, man, and just looking at this shit. I said it in my other podcast with the white privilege. With the Chris Rock joke about how blacks gotta move mountains. Spanish folks gotta move mountains to make what to do what the white man can just glide to. That's the Chris Rock joke. And the joke is so fucking true. No black dentist can move in Chris Rock's neighborhood. No Spanish dentist can move in Chris Rock's neighborhood. But the white dentist can. Why? Why is it different for the white man than it is for the black man? Or it is for the Spanish man? Why are we considered second-class citizens? And you guys are not. Why can't we be on the same level? And please, do not give me that bullshit that this is just, that's just how America is. I'd love it or leave it. Leave it. So we're supposed to be okay with bullshit because that's just how America is, and it's either love it or leave it. So I'm supposed to leave it because I don't agree with the bullshit. How about we fix the bullshit? How about we try to change the bullshit? Why do we have to accept the bullshit? Why do we have to accept the bullshit? Why can't we all just go, you know what? It's about time we change this. This is wrong. This is not right. And yet we should start making laws against this bullshit. Because we sit here and talk about killing hatred. And we want to kill racism. And everybody is kumbaya and peaceful. Let's kill racism. But no one wants to say the obvious thing, the way to kill racism is making it a law where you cannot preach hatred. Hey, you can't preach that shit no more. You can have it in your heart, but you are not allowed to now go out and try to fill other people with this hatred that you have. If you hate it, that's fine. If that person over there hate it and y'all guys want to come together and talk about what y'all hate, that's great. As long as y'all don't come together and then go recruit other motherfuckers to hate what you. Ku Klux Klan should be, being a part of the Ku Klux Klan should be illegal. It should be dismembered. Hey, it's time to dismember this shit. No longer is this allowed. Ku Klux Klan will not be allowed in the United States anymore. If you're a Ku Klux Klan member, you will go to jail. You want to know why they don't do that? Because there will be thousands of Ku Klux Klan members come out. We have the right to hate. We have the right to hate everybody. That's fucking hilarious to me. And they don't want to deal with that. Because guess what? Every Ku Klux Klan member would be a white person. They don't want to deal with pissing off the white guy. And so it's okay to piss off the black guy. They're second-class citizens anyway. It's okay to piss off the Spanish guy. They're fucking second-class citizens anyway. Newsflash. Black and Hispanic populate the earth more than any other race in America. I said the earth, but I mean America. We are no longer the minorities. We kind of are the majority in America. There's more blacks and more Spanish folks than white in any other culture in America. Yet and still, we allow this shit to go on as being second-class citizens. Don't understand that. If the Spanish folks and the black folks just join forces to say no more second-class citizenship, and we go out and we don't preach violence, but we go out and we actually have peaceful protests. Hell, we don't even protest all day. For an hour a day, we go out, and I'm gonna say the same shit I said about, the injustice. We all have shirts that says hashtag enough's enough. On the back it says we are not second class citizens. And we all go out an hour a day, unified, stand on in our whatever city we in. We don't hold up traffic. Because it's not, you don't want to hold up traffic making people late for work. That's dumb. I don't think that's cool at all. But we stand where traffic can still drive through, but we just stand there with our shirts and unified, unionist. We don't argue, we don't fight. We're not trying to fight the police. We're not trying to do that. We just stand there with our shirts and we say, enough's enough. We are not second class citizens no more. It opens fucking doors. I'm surprised that people are not doing this shit yet. But it opens fucking doors and makes people realize, holy shit, you're unifying. That's a problem. Alright? And we don't need no black leader to help us do this. And I'm so sick of hearing this. Where's the black leaders at? We need black leaders to take us to the promised land again. No, you know what? I don't want a black leader. It's about time that black folks, Spanish folks have already been starting doing this shit. They're starting to lead themselves. They're not looking for a leader anymore. They're starting to lead themselves. We need to follow in the footsteps of Spanish folks, and we need to start leading ourselves to the promised land. Why do we need? All they're gonna do is fucking kill them. All they're gonna do is kill her or him, our black leaders. We don't need that shit anymore. Like, stop getting black leaders killed because they're trying to protect us when we should all walk out there. They can't kill us all. They can't. They can't kill us all. They can kill some of us, but they can't kill us all. We all are out there, and we're not. There's no black leader. They can't kill us all. Even if they kill some of us, we still got enough to make a statement to where, holy shit, we in trouble. Things need to be changed. That'll wake white government up, man. I'm telling you, white folks, white government, people that still think slavery is fine by them, who are undercover and not really showing their true color because it will be frowned upon, they'll start realizing, slavery ain't cool. I don't want these people as slaves. See, I don't mind the timid, naive people, but I don't want the ones that are out here protesting as slaves because they're going to fight to the death. And I am not cool with that. So maybe we should just go ahead and stop calling them second class citizens. And it might take years for them to wake the fuck up. It might take 1 year. I don't know. But if we all did that, man, dude, people will realize this is not a joke anymore. Alright, well, I'm getting tired. We're already at 2 hour and 25. Well, 24 and 15 second mark, about to be 24 and 30 second mark. So, thanks for checking out the show. I'm definitely we're gonna try to do a squad show coming up soon, real soon. Please get people involved in the page. This nobody's gonna hear this if you're not letting your friends hear it. Like, you listen to it, but you gotta get other people listening to it too. Get people to like the page. Hey, check out the PSA. Have you heard this PSA podcast thing, man? It's cool, man. Boom, boom, boom. If you don't like it, fine, I get it. It's not for everybody. Some people don't want to hear the truth. Some people don't like what I'm saying. No, it's all good. Cool. Some people just don't fucking like my voice. And this fucking voice sounds stupid. Great. If my voice turns you off, man, I'm sorry. Can't help that I got this voice. But just get people involved in the page. Like I said, I'm gonna start being more active on the page, putting up things, and it's not gonna be just about what's going on in the world. I want to do some things about relationships. I don't want to just do negative shit. 'Cause I really hate talking about this shit sometimes because it just brings you down. Like it brings me down talking about it. Because now, like I know I'm a second class fucking citizen in America now. I'm considered second class. And no matter what I do, I'm still gonna be second class. You know. So it brings me down to talk about it. So I definitely don't like talking about it. I like talking about other stuff. So I'm gonna try to do more things with other stuff. So I don't have to talk about this stuff. But this is one of those topics that is definitely on my mind right now. So I felt like I had to talk about it right now. But like I said, I'm gonna be more active with the PSA page. One of the things I'm gonna do coming up is do favorite favorite rap verse, that you've heard. Not a fucking lyric, but a verse, like a whole fucking verse, 16 fucking bars. So I want everybody that's big hip hop fans, like I'm a big hip hop fan, to put down their favorite rap verse that you heard. I'm putting it up on the page, and I'm gonna put my two favorite rap verses that I've ever heard, and then I want people to follow in, because this lets me know how many people are listening to this shit and how many people are following this shit. So get people involved in it and get your friends involved in it. I can't stress this enough. I can't keep doing this shit if nobody's listening. Because then I'm talking in thin air and nobody's listening to what I'm saying anyway. So I'm just gonna stop doing it. But get people fucking involved in this shit. Get people listening. Put comments on the videos. You've seen the video and you don't make a comment about it. The page is for you to discuss this shit amongst other fucking folks. So start commenting on the videos about what's going on. Hey, I really like what he said. I disagree with what he was saying. This is what I think of what he's saying. If I can have an intelligent conversation with you, shit, you can be a part of the squad. I can bring you on, push you on a part of the squad. It's not that hard for me to add people to the podcast. It's really easy for me to do that shit. It's not that hard. So, you can be on the show, and me and you can have a debate on the show and talk about it. So definitely put your opinions on it. Let me hear what you gotta say. As long as you're not calling me a fucking retard or something, and for those who do that stuff, I will ignore you and I won't even acknowledge that you exist. As long as you're not calling me a name or saying I'm a moron and all that stuff, and we can actually have a debate and talk like civilized people, and you can clearly debate what I'm saying, without arguing with me, dude. Me and you will be friends for life. and I will bring you on the show just to have your opinion on it, on stuff. Because I love debating stuff. I don't like when I'm talking to somebody and they agree with what I'm saying. I want someone that's going to disagree. I want someone that's going to disagree with me so I can have an intelligent conversation with them. And we go back and forth. Because he might make me, understand things on his side of the point, and I might be able to make him understand things on my side of the point. There's certain things that I'm just not going to budge on. But that's, I want that. I want that for this page. I want people to interact on this page. Don't just listen to it and not say nothing because you think I'm going to get mad because you said something that you disagree with. Please interact on the fucking page. As long as you're not being fucking completely an asshole, interact with me on the page, please. And interact with other people on the page. Again, as long as you're not arguing and fighting on the page, man, I don't care. Interact with other people. Talk about issues that you have. Hell, if you got a certain topic you want me to talk about, mention it on the page. Anybody can write on the page. Like, it's not that hard to write on the page. Write on the page. Hey, yo, RJ, what's your thoughts on such and such? So when I do the next show, I can be like, yo, shouts out to such and such. He wanted me to talk about this, and this is my thoughts on it. Maybe bring it up. Brief little message there. And fucking, where's the questions? The Q&As, man. Like, I gave y'all so many places to hit me up with the Q&As. I'm going to do it one more time, okay? Hit me up on the message board, on the Facebook like page. Send your Q&As there. Email me at RJ. It's PSA with RJ at gmail.com. Send your questions there. I check that shit regularly. No questions, man. Send your questions to fucking The YouTube page. Like the YouTube page. Send your questions to the YouTube page. There's places where you can write on there to send your questions to the YouTube page. Alright, so there's 3 fucking places. Oh, and Twitter. PSA with RJ underscores between the RJ, between the PSA with and RJ underscores. Send your questions there. Tweet your fucking questions there. I'll see your questions. I have not even got a like on the tweet on my Twitter account. Haven't even got a like on my Twitter account, man. So follow me on Twitter, dude. Like, you gotta follow me on Twitter. I gotta know who my audience is. If I don't have an audience, I don't do this anymore. Simple as that. So I'm now getting in everybody's ass about this. And especially my squad. My squad needs to be pushing this shit out. Because you guys are on this fucking podcast with me. So push this shit out to all your friends. Hey, yo, listen to me on this podcast, man. Tell that's how I get people, my friends listen. Hey, look, I'm on this podcast. Check it out. I'm about to start putting this podcast on Meet Me, on fucking Tag, or fucking networks that ain't even full of all that shit. I'm about to just like, yo, check this podcast out. Check this podcast out. It's my podcast. Check it out. Simple as that. Y'all can do the same shit, yo, on your fucking Facebook page. Yo, this is my podcast. Check it out. I'm on this podcast. Hey, he does single podcasts too. Once you get people to go to the like page, they'll listen to whatever's on there. We can be we'll have a fucking video up there where we're farting. They'll listen to it like, yo, these farts are funny as hell. I'm just saying, that was a joke, but just saying, man, get people to listen to this shit. Because again, I'm tired of talking in thin air. You don't have to agree with what I'm saying, but if you listen to it and you learn something, you might learn something. You might say I'm full of shit, and you might go, this motherfucker's on point. Either way, you listen to it. And that's all that fucking matters, is that you're listening to it. So, I want to say good night to everybody. Peace.